We are
Like I tried
starting
watching it. I'm like,
3,
kind of funny.
2,
It's funny when they were
1,
more risque back in the day.
and Steve.
What's up, Pack? We are here for episode, I have no idea, of the Ask the Pack Leader
34.
Show. It's kind of like, what is it, 34?
34.
Okay. Episode 34 of the Pack Leader Experience. Pack Leader Show. No, Ask the Pack Leader. All right, we got a lot. We just basically did a creative meeting prior to this of like what we're doing and shit. So that's why I'm like all over the map right now. So cut me some slack, everybody. But we're here with Dana, who's one of our trainers here now at Pack Leader Dogs. We got Adam, as usual, behind the wheels of steel back there.
Hey, guys.
We wanted to just come on quick today, do a shorter one, and just talk about what we're doing. So let me tell you what I'm doing first. So basically, since getting the ranch here, we obviously had the coronavirus thing that happened like all year, right? And I spent a lot of time developing and getting things going here, this and that. So things were good. Now, because of the COVID puppy situation and people are going back to work and vacations are starting happening, we're getting flooded with shit. So what I'm going to be doing, believe it or not, it sounds like really the opposite of what I should be doing, but I'm going to be actually cutting back on some of my work with like the clients and the dogs and all that stuff, and working more on developing the ranch, working with the trainers, working with developing the camp to optimize that. We're doing things like putting in pools and agility courses and trails. There's a lot of shit going on here. So that's kind of what's going to be happening. So Dana and Dave and Christian are going to be taking a lot of the sessions moving forward. And I'm pretty pumped about that because I've been working a lot with these guys, and I'm out there in the socials with them, doing walks with them, doing stuff with them to make sure they're up to speed. But Dana's been doing this for a while. So should we just get into how she, let's just get into that. So why don't you tell us how you end up here?
Yeah.
See you in an hour.
All right. Yeah. So basically, it's been an interesting ride for sure. So I originally.
Well, why don't we say first how?
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay,
yeah.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
So basically, I was really wanted to jump into the dog psychology stuff. I was like, I need to learn more about this. I started following Steve, tried to actually work for Steve, or actually tried to shadow him, and
I don't remember
a
that.
long time ago.
Okay.
And it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
You know,
She hit the red tape.
Yeah, I hit the red tape.
Did
so
you?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Who were you in contact with? At
Who
that time?
was hating
Who was
on
the
you?
girl?
Was it Tamara?
Yeah.
Tamara was a hater. Just kidding.
She's like,
just
no,
kidding, Tamara,
other
if you're
females
listening to
allowed
this.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, I just was following you, and I was like kind of, doing my own thing. But I, again, started off for free, working with dogs, did a lot of like rescue work, walk them for free and everything. And you had posted that this dog trainer was coming to the area to do a conference.
Workshop, yeah.
And you were like, if you're at all interested, you got to
good.
come.
Yeah.
So I basically, and at the time, by the way, I'm like the one with kids and the one that's married here. So, I'm a little in a different world in that regard. So I had two very young kids at home. My husband, and I was like, I'm just going to take the whole day Saturday.
Well, what were you doing at that time? You were a housewife
just working,
mode?
I just had a baby.
Yeah,
so I was like in mommy
raising
mode.
the kids,
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just going to take the whole day Saturday and go to this conference. So just fend for yourself.
Yeah.
And my husband was like, oh, okay,
But had you been doing the shelter stuff already or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went and you were there.
Yeah.
We actually, I think, sat next to each other. In like the front row.
Yeah.
Cassie was there. I don't remember who else was there, but anyway, it was a very good workshop.
Yeah.
Learned a ton.
Yep.
From that point on, I started to work with that trainer, via like FaceTime and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was reaching out to you here and there through IM.
Yeah.
And then you became aware that I was.
That shows our age, by the way, that Dana just called them IMs. Just so you guys know.
Big time.
That's what they used to be for us back in the day. I sent you an AIM instant messenger.
AIM. That's great.
Yeah, instant message.
So, so basically, I started.
It's DM, Dana. Come on, it's 2021 now. Okay?
She was all up in your DMs, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sliding into the DMs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So I started working with that trainer, but then I did get a hold of you and told you I'm working with this trainer, and let me know if you have any availability for me to work with you.
Yeah.
And that definitely got your attention.
Yeah.
And you did write me back. Oh, that's great. What are you learning? Da, da, da. So you and I like kind of had this like weird like virtual messaging relationship for a little bit.
Yeah.
And at that point I was.
It was like a let's stay in touch thing.
Yes, correct.
Like, because I was at a phase there where we were like fucking crammed in Hoboken.
Yes.
There's like I couldn't like get anybody there.
Right.
So I was like, all right, let's see what happens as time goes on. Let's stay in touch, keep doing your thing. And
yeah. Which was actually probably, now looking back on it, the best thing.
I know.
Because
things end up happening for a reason.
Yeah.
For sure. Yes.
I can't get over the line. We've been watching the show Billions, this show, and then the one guy says everything happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Yes.
And I keep like thinking that in my head, and I'm like, it's so fucking
It's so
fascinating.
true.
It was like I had to I couldn't even focus on the show anymore. Like that's what happens to me sometimes. I see something like that, and I'm like, that is such a freaking good line. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, so yeah, it was great because then it forced me to kind of go off and do my own thing.
Yeah.
Which I started, training dogs on as a hobby, like for fun, and like it was always my passion. I always knew I wanted to work with dogs. I just couldn't figure out a way to make it work up until that point, right? So I did dabble in, I was a publicist in New York City for a while for the television networks.
Okay, so let's go to that. When was that? That's before all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was like.
So let's go to there. So now we got the part how we met, right? And then we'll pick it up from there. Okay. Now let's go all the way to the beginning.
Yeah.
This is right up my alley too. So she's in the business, guys.
Yeah.
She's part of the business.
So I had majored in journalism. So I got my first internship at Dateline NBC, and from that point, a lot of the producers really liked working with me. So they put a lot of really good recommendations in because I had applied for the NBC Page program.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows about it, it's a pretty elite program. They take like 50 kids from all over the world, and you're working there, and you're basically then once you're accepted to that, you then apply to jobs on the shows. So you apply like a job. You submit resumes, and then you go on interviews at the Today Show, at Saturday Night Live, at whatever, and then they select one person with all those people that applied. To be on those shows for like 3 to 4 months at a time.
Yeah.
But you only have a year to be in this program. So you basically, it's very cutthroat. Like you want to that whole industry is about who you know and who you impress and whatever.
Yes.
So it's very cutthroat. So I did that for a while, and I happened to get a really good, couple really good projects when I was there. One of which you can't apply for. They select someone to work with the head of NBC.
Nice.
So they offered it to me, and I was over the moon.
Who what?
Bob Wright.
Okay.
Yeah.
I talked to another guy at NBC. It was a whole nother thing that went on there. But I talked to a guy about a dog on a set there. One of the clients wanted a dog on set, but there was an incident. I had like a whole long discussion with him. He was a really nice guy. But anyway, go ahead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's funny you said that because when I was working for Bob Wright in his office and stuff, the Today Show had this thing they were shooting in the city, right? This is kind of what sparked me to want to do this. With Isaac Mizrahi. So I went and I met Isaac at this doggy daycare place. And I was like, what is this doggy daycare?
Yeah.
Like, it was so new then.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big thing. And I was like, oh my God. And like, you would think I'd have been like, all like, Isaac Mizrahi. I was like, show me the place. Like, I didn't even
look at
care.
These dogs.
I was like, I need to see this place. Like, what is this all about?
Do you remember where it was? I wonder if it's still open.
It was like, I feel like it was down in Pups and Suds or something. It was like down on like 14th Street, around that area. So anyway, so that opened my eyes to it, and I was like, oh my God, like this is like I could like do something in dog, whatever.
Did you live in Hoboken?
So at the time I lived in Hoboken.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway, so from that point on, Bob Wright really liked me, and he basically sat me down at the end of my thing with him and said, where do you want to work? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, no, just tell me. He's like, I'll make a phone call. And at the time I had a whole stint in publicity prior to him. And I was like, I really like publicity. I'd love to work in that, area. So he made a phone call. They created a
publicity is like PR, right?
Yes,
public relations.
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was doing it in news at the time. News
I want to hear Dana's like public relations like assessment of my cursing and all my bullshit.
Well, that's,
you don't want to hear that shit, bro.
well, by the way, that's publicity.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like
you
being like
that,
that, you can't do that.
You have to be like real.
We need to do a statement and all that shit.
Yes,
right.
Yeah. So basically, he created.
I'm not making statements, by the way, everybody. Just so you guys all know, I don't give a shit. I'm going to the grave with what I'm saying.
I'm just talking shit.
I'm just gonna put afterwards.
I'm gonna be authentic if I have to.
I was just about to say afterwards. I'm gonna say he's very authentic.
That's it.
That's the way she was spinning it. Nice.
Authentic.
Yeah. That's the way you were
just being. That's right. Okay, good.
He's just being authentic, guys.
Good, perfect.
Great.
Give him a break.
Yeah.
Anyway, so really, what happened was I got this job at NBC Publicity in news. And it was right as the war was starting. So I got thrown into the fire.
2001?
Oh, shit.
Big time.
2002?
So it was my first, real job doing something really big. And then I was in charge of all, the beheading videos from Afghanistan.
Awesome.
and I was in charge of a lot of heavy shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a little eye opening, but it also really taught me like I can handle a lot.
Yeah.
And I can shut down like all the other bullshit when I need to and like focus, right?
Yeah.
So it was a lot. Also dealing with celebrities in general is a very difficult thing.
Yep.
They have a
It
lot
can
of,
be.
It can be. There's some fabulous ones,
There
but
are.
many of them aren't.
Yeah.
And so basically after the war, I was like, I need a break from news. Like I was toast.
Yeah.
So I went to
I bet.
entertainment.
What a crazy start.
Yeah, I went to entertainment, publicity then, and my biggest conflict at the time when I first started there was that Paris Hilton had a sex tape.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we can handle this. I'm like, no one's dying.
Yeah.
So great, no big deal. So that was pretty funny.
That was like a
because
cakewalk.
Sex tape with?
That was like right as she started.
Who was
Yeah,
it
but
with?
it was random.
I forget.
So it doesn't
was a
matter. It doesn't
random
matter who
dude.
it was. She was a famous one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were all like freaking out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, it happens. Like, it's fine. We'll deal with it.
That was like a cakewalk for you.
Yeah.
Compared
I
to
was like, no
war.
one's dying, people. There's no
Yeah.
beheadings here. Like,
Yeah.
we're good, you know.
Yeah, no one's
whatever.
head getting chopped off. We're fine. Someone slept with someone. Who
That's
cares?
right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's like-
So anyway, so that was that, and then at that point I was very bi-coastal, so I was in LA and Miami and New York. Basically every week I was in one of the two places, and I didn't have a life, and I was like so shot.
Yeah.
So I got to a point where I was like, I gotta like reevaluate things. Like
Yeah.
I'm just not enjoying it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't care who I book on Letterman anymore. I don't care who I book on Oprah anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm done.
Just not happy.
Yeah, it wasn't fulfilling. So I
And how many people would have said to you, like, what? How can you
Oh,
not be so happy? You get
so
to
many.
meet Letterman and the celebrities
So
and
many.
then,
So many.
It's like, have you met them? And they're like, no. And it's like, well, you don't even know what it is. And you're saying, how could you not do it? And you don't even know me, really, you know?
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's the thing when I tell, because that's my thing for the people out there who are like trying to start something and do something. It doesn't matter what the other people say.
Yeah.
It's your fucking life. So
Yeah.
you decide what you want to do with your life.
I
Yeah.
hear this so much from people, like especially from you, Steve. You thought you were gonna be happy making good money,
Yeah.
and like
never-
that world, right?
Yeah.
You were making good money in that
Yeah.
world, but you're like, I'm just not happy.
No.
I love the fact that everybody's starting to find their purpose in life,
Yeah.
and somehow, some way, we are all
Yeah.
connecting now through the dog thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
I
And
love
my
that.
dad has always drilled into my head, like, whatever you do in life, make sure that it's your passion, because
Right.
then it's not work.
That's right.
So it was always like drilled into my head. So when it stopped becoming fun, I was like, I don't want to do this my whole
Yeah.
life. Like, fuck
Yeah.
this. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go find something I really like.
Right.
So anyway, so my dad was in television. So like he was one of those people like, why aren't you doing it? Why
Yeah.
don't? And I was like, it's not fun anymore. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
I don't like it.
Right. So my mom was a teacher, so I was like, let me go try that route. I'm like, I like kids.
She
you
tried both
know.
parents' routes too. That's the interesting part too.
Yeah. So I went.
That's very interesting.
Got Steve's dying.
I have
Steve's
the
dying
camera.
right now.
I
He's
have the camera.
verklempt. He's verklempt. My story's getting to him so
I had the
much
camera on it.
that
No,
he's
I'm getting
verklempt.
emotional. Sorry.
Oh man,
Keep the camera.
I kept the camera on you. Just so people are like, who is this fucking coughing guy? It's like, no,
Sorry.
look at the coughing guy. He's
Go
on.
ahead.
Okay.
He's still choking down the wrong pipe, huh, bud? Dang.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
It sucks.
He's trying to talk still.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just talk.
talking.
I'll just talk. So basically, I went and got my master's for special ed, and I started to, work in a classroom plus going to get my master's at nights. It was a little bananas. But I did that, and I got my first classroom, and it was an all-inclusive classroom with special ed kids plus regular kids. It was all spectrums.
Yeah.
So it was a lot, but it was funny because when I was interviewing for jobs, I'll always remember this. They always said, like, why do you think you can work with kids? Like, you just came from the publicity world. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, the
They're kids.
celebrities are children
Yeah.
over the age of 20.
Right.
So my patience is really high. And they were like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, so in that regard, I learned how to teach well. Like just how to, listen, I had kindergarten, so they're kind of like puppies.
Yeah.
Like absolutely
It's like
not
dogs,
a clue.
period, almost.
Seriously.
Right, that's
Yeah.
my point. So I learned very well how to teach and how to deal with the parents and so both careers prior to going to the dog thing set me up, I think, to be a really good dog trainer.
Yeah.
Because I've had the teaching aspect, which, I learned very well how to do that. but also dealing with people.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a big thing that a lot of people miss when they're thinking about dog training, because everyone's like, oh, I love dogs, I want to be with dogs. But what they're not understanding, or they're not realizing, not everyone, but a majority, is that like a lot of that is the people. Like you have to know how to deal with the people, and you have to know how to read a person very well, because if they're getting overwhelmed by things or whatever it be, you have to know as a trainer, okay, I gotta either step back, I gotta go slower, this person's not understanding, you know. There's so many different personalities, so like, you know, you deal with a lot of people.
They really do think that working with dogs is like, oh, I just work with dogs.
Right.
But for the most part, most things with dogs is dealing with people.
Yes,
You're,
for sure.
Who own dogs.
You're
For
training them, the people.
It's you know, people are thinking like, I'm gonna get in with love with dogs. I love them and this and that, but like, all right, you're a dog walker. I'm just gonna walk dogs. I have to do it. You know how many I try to deal with people, their clients, and and you know, like being happy, customer service on the street, all that shit. You have to me, like, humans, like skills, communication skills are like some of the best skills you could have in life.
Completely agree.
100%.
Because like, you could have all the brains, all the intelligence, all the other but if you can't communicate that shit to somebody, and that's the one thing I noticed, okay, about the dog thing, and maybe that's what you saw when I was doing it, was like, I saw all these dog trainers being very complex about everything, where I'm like, I know dogs pretty well, and I don't know what the fuck these people are saying.
I
like,
agree.
It's almost like, why are they using all these words? I just want to hear it like in a normal way and just explain it to me how like I'm a friend, you know?
Yes, or...
That's the route that I went.
I think that's why you have so much success, too.
I was just going to say that. Or you have a lot of these dog trainers who I've, over the years, who've gone to the dog side because they aren't great with people. So they don't have the social skills, but the dogs, they relate more to the dogs, right? Which is great. But and I've heard this from my clients just from over the years of training. They're like, yeah, that guy, like, he's just weird. Like, he just makes me feel weird. And that's why.
It's because they don't like people.
That's right. Yeah. They don't know how to relate to people. It's a very, very important and huge part of the dog training. And then it's funny because when I'm working with these clients, they're like, man, it's like you really have to just train the humans. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, because once you understand that, like, the dog thing, look, there's certain levels of, like, understanding dogs and skill and all that stuff. But once you get to a certain point, like, you can handle most cases, right? Then it's like, but how do I convey this message to the human? And how do I put this puzzle together of like, wow, there's two kids, there's a mom. The mom is a little bit softer about this. The father's a little bit too much. This dog is sensitive. This one, like, you have to, it's like, okay. That's why I always say the FBI thing. It's like, here's like all the events and all the shit that happened here. Now let's put this together and see how it happened. And then that's like the FBI thing that, okay, here's the crime. But then it's from then, for what we have to do is then, okay, here's what the crime was. Now, how are we going to resolve all this shit? You know, like, what are we going to make change? And now you're getting humans to change and how to influence people. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Tell me if you agree with this one, Steve. Is it energy and being able to work with people first, and then comes knowing dog handling training?
Good question.
I think that just because I know that Dana is actually excels pretty well in the energy portion of things, because her energy is pretty decent. And then like with herself, like,
so
she's
if
calm.
You're asking me, like, would I rather have someone come here who's like, really, you're saying like good with dogs? Sorry, it's the landscaping, everybody. This is what we can do here at the ranch.
I don't think we can hear it.
I forgot about that. My bad on that one. Can you hear it?
Yeah, a little bit. Is it really the landscaping?
Yeah, or the I think it's the landscaping crew.
Yeah, so we have landscaping happening now, and we have a backhoe back there to dig up and do electrical.
Yeah, it's nonstop here. Never ending. Vans are pulling in. I'm like doing something with Nico. I go, what the? Me and Adam are like, what the fuck is this coming down? It's like, sounds like a tractor trailer, and I see.
And it was
one of the contractors with the big backhoe coming down. Put I don't know what the hell they're doing.
But it's actually great when that happens, because the dogs. It's a great experience for them. So they, you know, we're outside with dogs, and like the backhoes go. I'm like, ooh, this is awesome. We can go over, and the dogs like smell it and check it out, and you're like, yeah, we're good, and then they're fine. It falls apart when that happens with people who have no idea about dog psychology. The dog freaks out, and then the people are like, no, you're fine, and then affection, and then
treating as human.
Yeah,
because that's what you do to a kid. You're fine. You're fine. Everything's okay. Don't worry.
Yes.
But a kid can hear it and rationalize what you're saying. A dog doesn't rationalize. They just know the energy that you are.
That's right.
So they're hearing, just so you say that, and you're, whatever the energy is, let's just say I'm saying whatever. I'm saying blah, 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 blah. I could be saying a blah, 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 blah. Like this, it's the same fucking words. You know what I mean?
Different energy, though, behind it.
What's the energy? Am I frantic? Am I calm? Am I assertive? Am I, what is the energy behind?
Yeah, it's good.
That's what people really have to understand. Like, I really don't talk to the dogs that much at all.
Yeah.
At all. I use the verbal when it's like when I pick my moments for it and use it when it's valuable, right? Yeah. But like talking to them when they're freaking out is nothing. You're just noise, and you're associated now with that freak out too.
Yep.
So, whatever.
So to get back to the other thing, what you were saying, which one would you rather have? Energy people person, or would you have a freaking gangster dog handler that knows everything about dog handling?
With people and not good with people. No,
that's not good with people, and also their energy is actually
the person, because now I know they communicate with them. They're good with people, so that's like one of the biggest hurdles for people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So once they can do that, like, and they're open and willing to learn about the dog thing, it's easy. I shouldn't say it's easy. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple, but it's not easy. It's just easier than having someone who's like really good. Because then when people come with with this perception that they're like amazing with the dogs, it's also a little bit of ego sometimes. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I'm the best and I'm really good at this. And I don't really care about that human thing. You know, like I'm a dog person. What do you mean? It's like, I know, but a dog person is, if you want to do that, then just go do a shelter. So I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what careers, like I guess like a kennel attendant doesn't really deal with people.
Maybe a groomer.
But the groomer's still dealing with clients and shit.
True.
Unless they're just like grooming in the back and the reception. I don't know. But you're still dealing with people because people are upset about the cuts and this and whatever. I don't know.
You have to deal with people. We're on this world together. You know,
you want to help people train dogs and really train people to rehabilitate dogs. You have to know people.
Yes.
100%.
There's to be good at communication.
I agree.
100%.
Yeah, and you can ask if you're not sure. But like for the people at home, if they're not sure, like ask somebody like, how is my communication skills?
Yeah.
Like you feel like I hear you and understand you. Do you feel like what I'm saying is clear and you make sense to you? And they're like, nah, you know, sometimes I feel like I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Right. Right.
Really? Can you point that out for me in the future? That's when like people, when they build that confidence and they're willing to do that and be vulnerable, that's when the real growth happens.
Yes.
Because or else you say, fuck you, I'm good at communicating.
Right.
It's like, well, that's not good what you just did there.
Right.
At all, you know?
Yep.
And I check in all the time, like at the end of a session, like how do you feel right now?
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you have any questions? Like, did I not explain something well? Like, is there any questions in your mind? How to do that? Like, that's important because you're tapping in with them, you know? And
like, how are you doing? Did you understand? Is there anything you have questions about? How are you feeling? I notice it every time. If I see any sort of like brain processing or I don't know, just like any sort of like unsure or whatever, I ask right away.
Yeah.
Like what? So what do you feel? How are you feeling?
Yeah.
I ask. You hear me say it. You say it too. Everyone's saying it throughout the sessions here at least. But when we get the clients and they come here from other trainers, I say, "Can I ask you a question?" I do this on purpose all the time. How many times did that last trainer ask how you feel? Never. I had never heard one person say once or twice or whatever. They always said, "Nah, never." They just we're talking about the dog the whole time. I'm like, I know because everyone's focus is on the wrong shit.
yes.
You know, like the focus should be on the human to make sure they understand that thing. Because that thing, he's got problems because of behavior problems that have been developed by living with them. But put them here and we're going to get them fine, like pretty quickly. So, but with them, how are they going to do it with their...
Yeah.
What is the dog pointing out about you is the real thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you want to listen, you can. You don't have to. You can feel free to just coast through life and die. Because a lot of people do it. It's your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But I would rather really see like what the hell can be done while we're here. So I want to see like what's the best possible highest vibration or highest version of us that we can be. So that's individual, but then now putting the whole fucking team together to see what's the highest vibration and what's the highest way we can be as a pack. That's fucking cool as hell to me.
Yeah.
And then this is we have like we have our own like intimate packs. It's our families, right? Our intimate family. Then we have like this pack, which I still consider like intimate pack, like the team here.
Yeah.
Then we have the extended pack, which is our group, the community on the platforms and stuff. And then it's the rest of the world, the dog community and then world. Yeah. So I'm first like, all right, let's make sure we take care of our shit here in Jersey. Let's make sure in New York, obviously, let's take care of our community and let's get this momentum going. I don't know if you guys noticed on the Instagram, I've been saying our community fulfills dogs. Because I want everyone to realize that our community does do that shit. I don't know. What we do is this. Pack leadership. We're pack leaders. This is pack leadership we do. Like, I want people to feel that way. Like, I'm a leader. I lead my life. I lead my dog. I'm a leader. I can do things in my life. I lead myself. Just be the leader of yourself. That's all I'm asking people to do first.
Yeah.
But it is actually very interesting how many people don't see it that way. No. Like, when I come into a session, I'm like, okay, so right now we're going to talk about how you feel when you're leading in general. Like, what do you do for work? You know, like, oh, the classroom, I'm a teacher. Great. So think about a time when you have been teaching something, you know, and all the kids are silent listening to you. You're the leader. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. I never really thought about it that way. Yeah. Like, they don't even, like, realize.
Yeah, and what would you do if one of the students told you to go F yourself?
Right.
What would you do? Well, I would deal with it. I would address it. Well, so if your dog jumps on you, which is basically the same thing, then you do the same. You know,
yes,
it's so similar.
Yes,
I love that stuff.
Yeah,
I just think it's so important for people to really understand the human side of it, and that's what you're saying is why the people have come and are like that is because dog training world has been like that. Mm-hmm. Let's train the dog. Mm-hmm. You're a perfect human. We're humans. We can never do any wrong. Go look at your old job and tell me if humans can do fucked up shit. They can do really messed up shit. Like, it's messed up.
Well, I also think that it's also like from when I had a dog being younger.
Yeah.
You know, it was not. No one knew about this.
Yeah.
So like it was all obedience.
Yeah.
And like honestly, like obedience is about training the dog.
Yeah.
So like all these people have this mentality that it's like just obedience training. Like that's dog training.
It's like trick training almost.
Yeah.
To me, obedience to a degree is a little bit trick training.
Yes,
like
for
to
sure.
a degree, like obedience, like walk in. Like
teach your dog how to roll over.
Like go see like them in the wild, and are they ever doing any of this shit?
No.
Like, imagine doing this stuff with a kid. Like, hey, kid, sit. Good boy. And give him food. Or like a game. Like,
yeah.
All right.
Well, they do that too, though.
I know they do that now. Well, now it's the opposite. Now everyone puts their dogs off leash. No one has their dog on leash anymore, and they have no control of the kid.
No idea what they're doing.
I mean, of the dog, and then they put their kids on leash.
Yes.
I see it in Hoboken. There's like they're leash walking their kids in the airports and shit. Mm-hmm.
I love how Caesar says that. He was like, man, when I first saw that, it was like, wait, they have their dogs. Yeah, they're leashing children over here.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
It is.
So, okay. So then where were we up to in the whole story?
Okay. Oh, so then I was basically just saying that I started taking my own clients on for fun, like hobby.
And were you doing it for free or not?
In the beginning, I did it for free for a while.
Yeah. That's cool. And it was just like friends and shit? Or?
Yeah, mostly in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then what I started finding, and I did have a lot of sessions with that other trainer.
Yeah.
We spent like 5 days of pure training both together. So that helped me with my confidence for sure.
Yeah.
And then I started to really like the demand just was getting really high because I never did any advertising. It was all through word of mouth, you know. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, like I have people who actually want to pay me and they're like asking to pay me. And, you know, so then I started to be like, all right, I'll start charging a little bit, you know, again, still
like
a
all
hobby.
The dog trainers. It's like, oh, I don't know. I really don't. Like, that's what I was like. They're like, you should charge some money. My clients should charge money. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
All that is self-worth, by the way.
Yeah.
It's insecurity.
Yes.
It's like, I'm not good enough for this.
Right.
You know, that's really what it comes from.
Yeah. And in my mind, I was kind of like, this is not going to be like a thing.
Yeah, it's just like a hobby.
Like, it's a hobby. I'm having fun. But then I really started it was really fulfilling.
Yeah.
You know what? Can I touch on that real quick? You said the self-worth thing. It's self-worth for actually your passions. Because when you're working for like a company, like you're working for the PR thing, you know what people get paid. So you're like, no, I should be getting paid that.
Yeah.
You in the world that you were in, construction and whatever, like you know what the the pay rates are.
Yeah.
So you're like you expect it / you know that what you're worth there in that world. But when you're doing your own passions, you're kind of like, I don't know what I'm worth, and you're trying to figure it out. So you are figuring out your self-worth there.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a distinction there. You know.
The one thing I do want to mention, when I was teaching in the summers, I had summers off, and I was before kids, you know, so I was bored. I'm one of those people that like can't just like sit around. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back to the Isaac Mizrahi idea of this dog care thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's gotta be one in Hoboken.
Yeah.
I'm like, so let me go see if I can find one.
Yeah.
So I went into this place and I'm like all like, you know, showered, nails done, like Gucci bag.
Yeah,
right?
like ready
I'm
to
like,
go.
hey, I want to work here. And the guy looked at me. He was like, all right, well, you could try it out for a day. Let's see how it goes, right? I'm like, yeah, awesome, right? Got right in there, loved it. Like, I was like, oh my God, I could do this all day, every day, right? So he's like, all right. He's like, you did great. Like, why, you know, I'll put you on the schedule, whatever. So I was the first one there every morning, literally outside on the front step waiting for him.
Yeah, let's go.
He was like, oh my God, you're here, you know, loved it. So anyway, did this every day, and I'll always remember this was like a pivotal moment for me. I had started like reading up on dog psychology, Caesar, all that stuff. So there was one day I was in with the big dogs in the big room, and it was a ton of dogs, like power breeds, the whole bit. No air conditioning, hot as fuck.
Yeah.
And they're all barking.
Yeah.
They're all nuts. It's one of those like daycares with they throw them in a room.
It was in Hoboken?
Them in Hoboken. Yeah. Doggy Graceland was the name of it.
Nope, I don't know that one.
So anyway, I was in the back with them, and I had been reading up on all this stuff, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit down on the ground. I'm hot, and you know. sat down within a minute.
Like mold you?
All of them sat down around me and laid down. It was silent. And I was like, oh my God, I'm the leader. I'm the leader. And like the guy comes running into the back and he's like, what's going on? He like thought something. Right? And I was like, I sat down.
Why aren't they barking?
Yeah. I'm like, I sat down. And he was like, oh. He's like, all right. And like just went back. And I was like, oh, I could do this. I'm like, I got to do this. I'm like, I got to figure out a way. So it took me some years to figure it out.
Yeah.
But that was a pivotal moment for me where I was like, I can do this. I just have to now figure out how to make it work.
It's all belief.
You
need the like that's what I'm trying to get people to see is that you don't need the event to have the belief.
Yes.
Right.
You know, like that's what was there.
That one down?
Huh?
How can you break that one down the event?
Like, so meaning like Dana didn't have to go work at that daycare to know that she could do the thing with dogs. She could believe it in her mind. If you believe it strong enough, like that's what's going to get you there.
Yes.
And I just always believe, like, I really think that the mind is the whole fucking game.
Yes.
In life. So like my point was with that is, okay, let's just say, I want to like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something like a good analogy to this. I want to hit a home run for like the Yankees one day or some shit like that. That's what I'm going to do. If you really believe, like, from whenever the point is that you're going to be able to do that, yes, it's going to take time and you have to have skill and all that stuff to do. Yeah. But if you have the belief, plus you have to have a little bit of the talent thing there, of course, for sure. Yes. But give me the person who has the belief that they're definitely doing that in life, not versus the one who has more skill, who's like, I think I might be able to do it. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So same thing with your dog.
Yes.
Right? You're walking it. How's this walk going to go? It's probably going to react. And oh, okay. If that's your belief, that's what's going to happen. Likely. Yeah, you probably create it. You might have some weird experiences where the dog didn't pay attention or you didn't even see the dog to create the shit. But for the most part, your dog's going to react.
Yes.
Yep, because you're basing past experience on the future and the whole thing. So that's what I'm saying. The belief system of yourself is so huge.
Yes.
What do you believe in and why? You know? Like, people are getting these beliefs of, like, especially when it comes to, like, things like politics and dog training, too. They hear it, and then they don't really put much work into it, and they just, that's my belief.
Yeah.
And they go with it. I'm like, how much work did you put into believing that or really understanding that thing that you're believing?
Right.
Not much, but someone else said it, so I just like it, and I'm part of a group now, and that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So, but then you have beliefs that are based on bullshit.
Right.
You know, is that a belief that you really want? How does a belief make you feel? You know?
Yes.
What's that vibration feel like? I can't do it. I can't be good with dogs. How did that feel? Shitty. So don't go with it.
Right.
Stop it right there and say, I okay, maybe I'm not the best with that, but I like horses, or I can be good with dogs. I can get better with dogs.
Yeah.
Is it making sense what I'm saying?
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also
this
think
is just like coming out of my
Yeah.
mouth.
no,
right
it's
now.
good.
No,
And I also think that a lot of people have to realize, like, you're never stuck.
No.
Like, people always say, like, oh, I'm stuck in this job that I don't want to do.
Yeah,
you know,
like no one's holding a gun to your head.
You're not stuck.
No.
Like, you might have to work your ass off to start something new, but, like, you're never stuck.
No.
Like, if you think you're stuck, you're going to be stuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the belief.
Just, you know.
I'm stuck in this job.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
I heard it so much along my, you know.
Well, it's the crazy thing to me when sometimes I have like a client who it's like the compatibility's off and the dog is like high energy working breed in a box in New York City. And they're just like, I'm like, well, what about moving? And they're like, right in their mind, they're like, what?
They can't even fathom that.
They're like, what do you mean move?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like pack your shit and go to a new place. So it's better for you and your dog.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm not moving. I love New York City too. Okay, then why don't you do the right thing for your dog and rehome them to somebody who can do the right thing?
Right.
No, I love my dog. No, you don't. Because if you did, then, you know what I'm saying? If you did, you would get off your ass and go move somewhere else.
Yeah, totally.
You know? Or give the dog the right life with the right people.
Totally.
Yeah, I think because of society and like certain things that people say that you need to have, you get stuck in the job and you get stuck in New York City because you think you should be living there.
Yeah.
Because people are like, no, you should do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we do.
Totally.
Why aren't you doing
We
the
all
same
do
thing?
this.
We all do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then people will feel like, well, fuck, I don't know. Like, I can't leave this job because I'm kind of stuck here. And it's like, no, you can leave the job. You can move out of New York City.
Yeah.
You can do all those things. But I think it's the people around you that are the ones that are going to keep you down. It's like crabs in a barrel.
But it's also themselves. It's also their own insecurities because when, let's just say I'm decided to just do the corporate, like sit in the cubicle and make my like cash a year and my little bonus and that's it. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. And you're doing the same thing. And you're like, I'm done with this shit. I want to go like try my own. And I'm like, I'm gonna likely, if I'm in that mindset, like try to bring you down to not do it because it's because of what it means to me, the reflection I'm in.
And it's also the programming though too. So yes, it's a reflection on you. It says like, well, how is this going to make me look? I'm not coming up like this person's coming up, but I don't want them to like leave me behind, right?
Yeah.
But it comes from somewhere. It's a root cause, which is the programming that everybody has, that we need to continue to be in this place because
this is the best you can do.
This is what we need. This is what we
chase
all
the
do.
money. Chase the
Schooling,
money.
unfortunately, does that for us. To be honest with you, especially public schooling, they're going to teach you how to be a worker and stay in that freaking job because it's safe.
And look, you know how many people told me in high school, like I got good grades until like 9th, 10th grade about. And then I started like
he's so proud of that. He like brags about that all the time.
But for me, honestly, like that stuff, I'm like, this shit is fucking boring.
You talk about it like Gary
you're talking
V.
about math. Like I was good at math already, so I'm like, we're doing times tables. This is easy.
Yeah.
You talk about it like Gary V. You said like school did it
was just boring.
The majority of people disservice.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like it was like sit in the. So someone like me who was more entrepreneur minded, I wanted to go build shit and do things and like be creative and all this thing. I would be like sitting there like in this thing. I'm like, I am so bored. I want to leave. I want to do something else. So, but when I was younger, I didn't have the hormones and the like the courage to like go fuck with the teachers, you know.
Right.
And then one day I was just like, I don't know. I'm gonna
and then you got the
courage
courage
and see what happened. And then I was like, this is fucking. I'm gonna get these people all crazy and shit. This is kind of fun. Like now I'm getting some excitement into this, you know.
Yeah.
And then where did I thrive? Of course, sports, because that was like where I could just like do my thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Isn't it crazy how some people are just like natural born performers almost?
Yes.
That's you basically. Whether it was in the sports, whether it was in the class clown scenario.
Oh my god.
Here on the podcast, here on your videos, on everything.
Like I just do shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just like so that's what that and how many teachers told me that I was going to be like a nobody.
Oh yeah.
You'll see where you got no future acting like this and all this.
Yeah, me too.
That's why it's like sometimes I'm like I hope they're tuning into the podcast some of them and see the ones who I was sitting in class like or maybe you as the leader in that mode didn't recognize how to get the best out of one of your pack members in the class.
Did people really say that to you?
Yeah.
They can be nobody.
I got that too.
You got that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
people
if you're
on the
not,
East Coast are shitty.
Straight A, like the so perfect example of this, depending on like obviously like the whatever job you're applying for, but like if you're in more of like the media or like dog train, you know, my dad would always say when he would interview people, he would always the kid that came in with the straight A's or the kid that came in, there's a balloon creeping up on me.
That shit creeped up on us.
No, he's putting it up.
Of course. It's my birthday.
Yeah. Today's Steve's senior birthday, everybody.
Like father, like son, that's some shit that Steve would do.
Yeah,
for sure.
totally.
Yeah,
I see something.
Yeah. As I'm talking about how I used to fuck around in school, I wonder where I got it from. You know?
I'm talking and I see this thing
balloons
like
coming up.
I'm like, what's happening? Anyway, my point was that my dad would always say he'd always hire the kid with the C's rather than the A's.
Yep.
Because that was the kid that he felt has more of a personality, most likely better with people, but got by.
Yeah. Like meeting the person, you're like meeting them. You're like, all right, I like the person you are, and the fact that you got C's actually makes you even better.
Yes, correct.
Because I know you're not like just go with the flow.
That's right.
Dang, so that's me.
Yeah.
I got C's in school.
Yeah, because someone who's straight A's, in my opinion, this is generally speaking, of course, but like straight A, like it's they know like this to this. They know like how am I trying?
I know what you're saying. They're
it's
not
like textbook smart.
They're not self-thinkers
and
though.
You just go like, this is the steps, bum, 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 bum.
Yes.
But then when you throw in like this, they're like, wait, like I'm so, and like how do I do this and do that? This is like
they're not self-thinkers.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like it's textbook. It's like they're using textbook
learning, yes.
but they can't think outside the box, right? So like there's no street smart there. There's no. It's like I can memorize a whole chapter.
Yeah,
but
we're
like,
basically talking about like street smart versus book smart kind of thing.
It basically is what it is. Yeah.
So it's like what is education? That's why I did that post of Elon Musk.
Book smart only.
Where he was talking about like don't get schooling and education confused.
Right. I like that one.
He's like I never went to any of that shit. He goes I didn't go to Harvard, but I have Harvard people working for me.
Yes. Right.
Like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And you need those people though, Steve, right?
Yeah.
You need the textbook people.
100%.
You need them because they're the ones that
are
are
absolutely valuable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's valuable. It's like God, if we were all C's, that would be a problem.
Correct.
Yeah,
you know, so like
who was I just talking? Okay, so I'm at a consultation last week, right? And I was like talking to the girl about this is like the really awesome clients, and I'm talking to her, and she's like, she's like, what's the biggest thing in your business? We were just talking about business and stuff, but I was like, the biggest thing for me right now is that we're expanding so fast of like keeping up with our systems and protocols and all that. And like, I was like, one thing that I love more than anything is growing and building and doing all this shit. But like sitting down and being like, okay, dog comes in, we do this and then do this. I'm like, oh my God. She goes, oh, for me, that would be like a dream. And I'm like, so this is a different human being. It's a different energy that was born.
Wired,
natural. So this energy likes the organization and this, whereas my energy is like, like, how can we like be more crazy?
Right.
You know, how can we do something more like this? Which is like both of those two have a lot of value.
Yes.
You know, you need both as far as
sure.
I'm concerned. So in a business, you need the ones who can think like I am and like, yeah, what else can let's build it. Imagine we bought these and da-da-da. And it's like, holy shit, this guy's thinking about God knows what. But then it's like, how are we going to execute that exactly?
Yes.
Then you need that straight A or the Harvard. You do this, you do this. Well, the law says this, and then this is how we would afford it, and then we have to invest this, and then okay, thank you.
It's a balance.
Yeah,
Totally.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what makes everything successful.
Yeah. It's super interesting to see because that's like dogs, pack positions.
Yes.
Right.
But this is also, you have to be very aware of this going into a session.
Yeah.
When you start dealing with the people, like what kind of person is this? Is this a person who needs me to write down the steps for that? Like, this is what you're going to do. Because I do have people that are like, can we just go through the day? Like, can we just start at 8 a.m. and just, what do I do then? And
breaking down,
Sure. Let's do that because that's going to help you.
And they're taking a million notes and shit. And it's like, good. Take them notes. If you're a note taker and you want to write it down.
Yes.
The funny is, can I take a note? I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like,
They come with notes though prepared too.
Yeah.
I have all of these questions
I
prepared.
actually love that.
That's
I
pretty
love
good.
when they do that.
Yeah.
My favorite ever, though, is when I get the clients who are coming in and talking about the dog, and then I'm like, just like, and you are da-da-da-da-da, and they're like, yeah, I know, and she da-da-da, and how do you feel about
going
that?
back
And
to
she's
the
like,
dog.
well, she da-da-da-da-da, I know she, and then what are you feeling about it? You know?
Yeah, because you
you keep petting her, that's why she keeps jumping up. I know, but she's crazy with the jumping. I know, because you're petting her. That's it. I had a client like that once, and it was one of Christian's first sessions here to witness, and he goes, I don't know how you do it. He goes, I was so tired after that session mentally from like, why couldn't that woman get it? I'm like, because dude, this is the thing. She's not seeing it that way. Her like, she's not processing what I'm trying to say, and her normal thing is to just go like this, deflect, and then usually someone picks up on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know me, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to keep bringing it back. Keep bringing it back. I'm like the persistence of the fucking bulldogs. I had to be, right? With these dogs that were working.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm keeping it. And she's like, and then finally, I'm like, I know, because this, right? I said something about like how she was being, and she's like, so you're saying it's me?
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'm like, I'm not saying it's you. I'm just saying some of the things you're doing are triggering the events that you don't like happening. So this that you're not realizing is equaling this.
Yes.
I see.
I actually do like when Steve does that. He repeats a thing.
Yeah.
He repeats a question or repeats a statement to the point where the person's like, oh, wait, so you're saying it's me? It's,
Yeah.
It's what I'm
It's
doing.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you said it, not me.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and a good thing in communication too is when you make a good point is to just not say shit after that.
Right.
Like when they get it, so you're saying
it
it's
sink
me,
in.
and I'm like,
Quiet.
Let it
part
sink
of it,
in.
but yes, you know, they're like, ah,
Yeah.
Totally.
because it also gives people a chance to process
Yes.
it too.
Yeah.
Like, what are you saying? Huh? That's really interesting to think about.
Yes.
You know? I like that stuff. I think it's really important.
Yes.
You know what? I always point out to like the funny things that happens because that's a good point that he makes. Like, just give them a little bit of space. But sometimes when you give them the space, the person will kind of take that space to be like, well, I'm going to go in this direction. And then Steve will be like, and I'm going to go back into that whole thing. So I gave you the space to breathe, not to go off into like another tangent and not really soak in what I just said.
Yeah.
Right.
So he will. It sounds like
I'm
when
giving them exactly. So I'm giving them the chance to process this, and when they're taking that time to process, and then be like, okay, I'm gonna use this opportunity to like change it. I'm like, nope,
no,
get back over here.
So some people from the outside looking in, they're gonna think, oh, he's cutting them off. He's giving them space and then he cuts them off.
Right.
That's
Strategy.
not what's happening.
It's
strategy. He's bringing them back to the original point, which is what he's talking about.
Again, you need to know how to deal with people.
Yes, I understand. It's just in evaluating the human.
Yeah.
Like, what is this person like? Can this person handle this shit right now? And there's certain times where I see people, oh God, it's like, it makes you remind. I'm going to come up with this thing, and I have it in my mind of what it's going to look like for like the flow of what a training session should look like. It's very similar to sales, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you
Persuasion.
want to keep them like on like a certain like train from this, and it ends up with the dog way better at the end of the session, right? Or the end of the experience with us. And there's absolutely times where you get off of that, or the dog's misbehaving, or the human's like not seeing it. But it's always about bringing it back up to like into like the good smooth zone, and then it goes up too high, and I'm freaking out. Oh, come on, yeah, there you go, you recovered, good job, and like that all the way through. That's the real thing of what I'm doing in a session. So I see, let's just say someone's getting really emotional. This happens a lot.
Yes.
I mean, people have no idea. We don't really show that much of that shit because, to me, I mean, listen, it's somewhat private. I don't want to really share too much of the emotional moments because people are paying for sessions with us that if they're sharing something personal, like, well, I'll tell Adam, like, this is not for now, and,
Yeah.
and he's good about it too. So where was I going with that? Oh, but then they go into that, like, that emotional thing, and they're starting to feel like down about it and feel a certain way, and then we go into it, and then I'll just boom with a joke.
Right. Yes.
Just,
You're very good at that.
and then they're like laugh, and I'm like, listen, but I know what you're saying with that, da, 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 and then we bring it back to that.
Yes.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like really understanding the flow of communication.
Yeah.
Steve also doesn't like feelings, so he likes to divert
He's
into
like,
Yeah,
comedy.
yeah.
Yes.
Just give me that bullshit emotion crap. You're like, what are you a human now? Get out of here with that shit.
I
Your
also-
feelings. Let's make up a joke.
I also experience a lot of marital
Yeah,
issues
for sure.
in sessions, and that's another one. You have to know how to navigate that.
Yes.
You know, and there are many sessions where first
Marriage counseling.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know,
first
it's
half an hour,
therapy
I'm
session.
in a therapy session
Yep.
with them. It's-
Very interesting, different perspectives here. So Steve deals with that obviously as well.
Yeah.
But you're a woman, right?
Yes.
So like, I'm curious to see her perspective on, because with Steve, he leans into the woman and says like, hey, this is what you got to do. And to the man, he's like, I know you got this, bro. Like, you already understand this part.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he doesn't really focus a lot on the
yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very interesting how
Yeah.
and I noticed that you
Yeah.
do that. So for you, what
For
is,
me, I think in the times I've done it, I try to stay neutral,
Mm-hmm.
and I just say like, I think what she's saying is that you're not hearing her when she says this,
Yeah.
and then I think what he's trying to tell you is, so I
you
kind
do
of
that
like
too.
Yeah.
I try to stay neutral.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the times it's happened, sometimes it's the guy and sometimes it's the girl.
Yeah.
Like it's so I really try to stay neutral until I realize like who's really the issue
needs the
here,
help, yeah.
and then I go.
And staying
about it.
calm is how you can find that.
Yeah.
Yourself. Staying fine, calm. Like if you're like, wait, what do you say?
Yeah.
You said that. Like you're not gonna be able to see what it is.
Yes.
Where staying calm, you can like calmly process what this person's saying and say, all right, I think I understand what they're saying. They're saying that. Okay. Tell me if I'm correct. Are you saying that?
Right.
This is, by the way, something that you can do in relationship stuff.
Yeah.
Like with whether it's a kid, a spouse, a
Yeah.
parent, or whatever, in work or whatever. When like try to listen, because this is what people do. I see all the time is like hurry up and finish that mouth moving so I can get my mouth to
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
And then
They're
that
not
person's doing the
listening.
same fucking thing back.
Yes.
This, you know, where I'm like, I think it's a good way to say like, and so if I am understanding you correctly,
Right. Then say
this is what you're saying,
Yeah.
and they say yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Great, okay, now I understand. So my response to that would be
right.
blah, 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 blah,
Right,
blah,
right,
blah.
right.
You know,
Meanwhile, the dog is on the ground watching all this, like, what the
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
am I?
lack of agreement. Lack of
And then
agreement.
you're like,
But you-
no wonder the dog's having
That's right.
issues.
There's no agreement.
Right.
Without agreement, the dogs are not going to listen.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got you. Give me a minute. Oh, I
Yeah.
got to figure out your humans for a
Yeah,
second.
Yeah.
sure.
But it's just another example of dogs pointing out some instability or imbalance that's inside the home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
Because it's being exposed. So they're going to say, this dog makes us argue
Yes.
and this and that. No,
No.
this dog is bringing some adversity, which you guys are having a meltdown about.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're not agreeing. So there's no agreement on like what we're going to do here. Mm-hmm. It exposes a lot of shit.
It's very interesting.
It really exposes a lot of shit. That's why I love
Yeah.
them so much, because it shows like about the people. And then a lot of people are going to go into ego and say, no, I don't
Right.
believe that. It's a dog's problem. I say, okay, good luck with
Right.
that. Let me know how it works out.
Right. Right.
That's the thing is I'm not trying to convince people.
Yeah.
I know what is now. I've doing this long enough that I can see what works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not bullshitting people. I mean, the messages we get, you see the messages over and over.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I can't thank you enough. I got one today. It was so cool. You should just read it. But it's like, I can't thank you enough of like for all the things you've showed me. And then, where is this one? It was such a good one. I thought you might find this video. Oh, here we go. It says, hi, exclamation point. I just want to say thank you with capital letters. Your advice and videos have been more help to me and my pup than I could ever relay in a message. We have a ways to go, but we are hard at it. Thank you a million times. Like these are the messages that we get. I don't know if you
Yeah.
can see it in there.
Not so much.
Yeah, whatever. But these are the messages that come, and that shit means so much to me. That
Yes.
someone like I don't even know where this person lives,
Yeah.
and that they've changed their whole life. And how big of a thing is a dog inside the home
Yeah,
when
it's
it's
huge.
unstable?
Yeah.
It's like literally ruins people's lives.
Yeah.
It changes everything about their lifestyle.
Totally.
They can't leave the home. The dog's barking. They put the dog away. They can't have people over.
Yeah.
All this bullshit that goes on, and then they find some relief and some balance, and almost everything changes.
Yes.
So the ability to us just like, who knows what this video will give people? You know what I
Right,
mean? And
right.
then knowing that there's people out there that are going to say, I got, even if someone gets one piece of what you said,
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
Adam said, whoever said it, and it was value, then this
It's
thing's
awesome.
worth it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's just worth it.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
It's about being open-minded. Like you
Yes.
just have to be open. the mind has to be open in order to change.
Right.
So like that person clearly was open-minded with what you said and was like, let me dive into it and try it, you know, and that's what you need to do in order to change.
That's it. But people that's what I would say was the biggest difference between me now and in my past. I was very closed-minded in my past. This is how it is. This is what it is. Like, don't fucking tell me that shit. I don't want to hear anything. And it's really like a dumb person talking because they don't want to hear information.
Right.
And then when I stopped talking and started listening, that's what you actually learn.
Yes.
And actually see what is. And like success leaves clues. So maybe go look at successful people and whatever that success may be.
Yeah.
You want to go find the happiest people on earth? Then go find happy people.
Right.
You want to be the richest person on earth? Go find the richest people.
Yes.
You want to find the best dog trainers? Go follow them.
Right. Right.
Are they having success? Are they doing that? You know? Because success is defined by what? To me, it's happiness.
Happiness, 100%.
Happiness and growth. I mean, but growth is part of the happiness.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And contribution, for sure. Like contributing to the world and leaving a legacy here that we helped a lot of people and dogs. Like, fuck, that's good energy.
Yeah.
That's what I like is moving. Caesar says, he goes, we need to continue moving positive energy around.
Yeah.
We have a big battle ahead of us with all this negative energy out there. And you see it that goes at him and all that shit. Like, there's negative everywhere. I mean, you saw it in your old job. So there's negative all over the place, but we can be a community that the power of like being able to be in a calm, loving, like happy state, it's so fucking powerful compared to like anxious, frustrated, whatever people. Calmness is the most powerful energy.
Yes, for
so
sure.
Seek that shit, and the dog is going to help you with it.
For sure.
He's there. No, he's pointing out that you want to run through that front door instead of make the dog sit for 1 second and then go outside, you know? Okay, so then all right, so then we got off track there a little bit, as usual.
Sorry.
No, this was
So where are we up to and how you got here?
This was a really good combo though, and I like how she's using a lot of the same language. Like one of the things you said was
English.
You have to have that's speaking English. Good shit. Not Spanish.
You're welcome.
I would have understood that too, by the way.
Yeah.
But you saying the one thing she said that stuck out to me was having the open mind.
Yeah.
To be able to like learn and receive.
Yeah.
Sorry,
because you know people have that thing of like it can't be, therefore it's not.
Yes. Well,
those 6 words are so dangerous, it's unbelievable.
So that brings me to where we left off because
Perfect.
it was like.
Good stuff.
I knew I
he's getting really good at that. I gave him a lot, but he slam dunked that one.
Yeah.
Good job, Steve.
Yeah.
So, you know, if listen, I tried to work with you for a long time and was shut down or it didn't work or whatever. Well, you know, so if
Tell us how you really feel, Danny.
Yeah, really.
Well,
shut me
being
down.
honest, I'm authentic.
That's right. Yeah.
So basically, it's like one of these things where if I was closed-minded, I would have been like, screw it.
Yeah, exactly.
Never doing it, never going to work with it.
Yeah.
Nah, you know. So I kept So when COVID happened.
Just remind me of assumptions, but go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when COVID happened, everyone was freaking out. Everything shut down. For me, I was like, open mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, Steve is not as busy.
Yeah.
And I literally was like,
That's interesting.
I am.
That's smart.
I am
Dang.
sending him a thing. So
And this is why we like
go
Dan.
back. You can go back and
I can
look.
see it.
My first message
what was
to
it?
you.
Was it a text or?
It was the
or
I am.
I am.
It was the
messenger.
the
Facebook?
messenger.
Yeah. For Facebook.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you can go back. It was like
How
right.
smart, bro.
It was like right
It's
when
slow. Like let's get him now.
shit shut down.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
like, Steve.
Yeah. That's
So
what he's
like,
up to.
I sent you something, and I was like, "Hey, you know, just checking
What's
in.
going
How you
on?
doing? Whatever, blah blah blah." I'm like, you know, I'm assuming, you know, things are a little slow, but I heard that you have a ranch now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited for you guys. I don't know, something like that. And I was like, can we like meet up?
Some bullshit like that.
one day, you know, like someday soon.
Yeah.
And that's where really, like, that's when it started because I knew that you were most likely more quiet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe he'll have some time now,
Yeah.
you know? And that's what happened.
Did you know that we were at the ranch yet?
Yes,
Okay.
because you had mentioned it on one of
That we
the
were moving.
podcasts. Or
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was
we were
listening
already
to
doing the
something.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's
So,
amazing.
and I came,
So interesting.
spent like a whole
Really?
day with you here,
Yeah.
like bullshitting.
Yep.
And really had fun and loved
Yeah.
it. And I loved the vibe and the idea of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, frankly, for me, like doing my sessions alone, which I've been doing for quite some time now, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
great. But I kind of felt like I was like plateauing to a degree and also missing having someone to like bounce ideas
Yeah.
off of and be like, was there a better way for me to do that?
Yeah.
Or what do you think about that? You know,
Yeah.
like I was missing that. So I really, really wanted to be part of like a pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, you know, when this worked and
That's
I came,
really interesting to me. Because like I was thinking about like, well, how come like what was I though? But I had Caesar and the trainers there
Of
as
course.
my like shit
That's a
to bounce
pack.
ideas off.
That's a
of.
pack, dude.
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
I had my pack. I had my like my Caesar pack.
Yes.
That I could like really be like, hey, have you ever a dog like this? Like I would mention Art or like Yoa or Caesar. Like Caesar, I have this dog, blah, blah. He's like, did you run this amount? I go, no. And he's like, that's what you need to do. And sure enough, you fucking do it. And the dog's like perfect right now.
That's what it is. Right. But like sometimes you need those people outside to be like.
To see what you can't see.
That's right.
That's it.
And so I was kind of feeling at that point where I was like, all right, I either have to hire people to work for me.
I had a drinking problem.
Yeah,
I have a drinking problem today with this water.
Careful.
Sorry to cut you off.
What is he?
I just took a sip and the water right in my face. Like, all right, I'm putting this over here.
Jeez.
No more water for the rest of the shower.
I think you have your sippy cup over there. You can use.
I need like a baba, whatever they call it.
Oh my God, I can't.
Why does that sound like
a little sippy cup?
That sounds Hispanic when you said that. Baba is what sounds like something like a Mexican would say for like whether it be a bib or like, are they?
It can be.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Sorry.
That's fine. I don't remember what was I saying? Anyway.
You freaking caught Steve up when he was on the slow run on the downturn.
Yeah, man. Oh, I remember what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because I was saying like I'd have to hire people to work for me because my demand was so high and I couldn't. It was like too much.
Yeah.
Or frankly, I didn't want to have a staff.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids at home. I'm managing like
staff.
a lot. Yeah, that's enough.
That's
So I was like, I'd rather join a pack.
Yeah.
Who like, listen, I people had come to me a ton by where I was training, like wanting to work with me or wanting to hire me. And none of those places and none of those people were people that I aligned with in terms of psychology stuff with dogs. Like none of them did that. They all did the stupid obedience and crap like that.
Yeah.
You were the only person in the area who I aligned with.
Only person in the area, by the way. If you were somewhere, if anybody else was somewhere else, or
yeah.
no,
Well,
I'm just
I mean,
kidding. I was
there's
trying
not
to talk
that
shit.
many of them.
It didn't go well.
There's like the people who learn from Caesar, but they're all over the place.
Yeah.
So basically, when I came here, hung out for the day, I'm like, oh my God, like I feel like I've totally fit in. Like it's exactly what I've been looking for. And so
that wasn't that long ago. That was like.
It was last summer.
Yeah.
It was on my birthday. I remember because I had a birthday dinner that night that I postponed to come here.
Nice. See? Attention.
See?
Yeah.
But I was going to say about the closed-mindedness and the assumption shit, which is like kind of goes hand in hand. If she was closed-minded and had just assumed that I was like not interested in the whole thing, then you would have been like, man. But I was interested. Actually, in truth, I was interested. It just wasn't the right time.
Right.
Dude, I think people have a perception of you.
Yeah.
Assumptions, going back to assumptions. Mm-hmm. I think people have perceptions or assumptions of Steve that he is away. Like
away?
Yeah, you're a certain way. Like you're a certain type of energy that people are like, yeah, he's just like this like cocky guy that's like doesn't really give a fuck and he's just all about himself. Whatever people want to think, right? Yeah. Because I've heard it from other people and I've said they said like, oh, like you're gonna go work for them, like good luck with that.
Yes,
and it's like little do they know that we here did so much freaking growth.
Yeah,
I grew the most as a person being here with this person that everybody has assumptions about.
Oh, you're saying about you when you were gonna come here
with for myself.
Yeah. Like
people have told me. Wow, people were telling me
hardcore and shit. Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck with that guy.
Yeah,
I got it too.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I really think that is that I'm very direct, right? And just say like, this is what I think, and I say, I try to say it without emotion as much as I possibly can. I don't know. I think it's without a doubt the New York shit for sure. Like, I mean,
but I also think it's who you say it to. Like, there are some people that can't handle that, and then all of a sudden they take it as a negative, right? Yeah. So they're like, oh, he's too cocky. He's just being direct.
Yeah.
And if you can't handle the direct of it, then you don't.
That's what I like, though. I like when people say like, at first I thought that, but then I like gave it a chance. I watched a little bit more stuff, and then now I understand it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just give me the chance. Just see. It's because I truly believe that truth and intention is felt by humans. Maybe not initially, maybe not right away, but if you look long enough, you can see the person's intention.
That's true.
That's at all avenues. Yeah. I see it with like these the guys who are selling the bucket ebooks and all this thing. Like, I know your intention is to make money. You don't give a shit about your fucking clients. I know it. It's obvious. You can see it. It's blatantly obvious if you're willing to look.
Yeah.
Not all, by the way. Not all. Some. Most. I would say.
People judge a lot by the book up by the cover. Like they judge by the 100%. Cover. And for me, people will see me and see like, oh, this serious guy. Like I don't really smile as much. But then you get to know me and I'm like a loving person and fun. You know what I'm saying? And Steve has that too, where you look like a New York guy. Like you
brash New York,
brash,
you come in curses,
all this stuff. But then you talk to him, it's like, damn, you have really deep conversations.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
And then let me tell you how people can maybe view you. Just for me.
I was just gonna say
this.
Me,
let me tell you how I view Dana.
I'm dying to hear.
Well, Dana is like wife, a working mom, right? That lives in actually, in my opinion, an affluent area. So you would be thinking about her like, why the fuck would she want to get into this dog thing?
So that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I have to tell you how I'm such a not a norm where where we live.
I know.
So like the days like if I don't have a session or I'm not here, I look like a very like put together with like my designer bag, you know, and people will see me and they're like, what? What is it? Like you're like that? Like they don't. They think dog trainer, and they're like, oh, you're like more like a guy, all masculine.
You put your cargo shorts on.
And it's like, no, I'm actually not. I'm like, I just like.
Dana still has the feminine side to her. You know?
But it's very interesting because I am around a lot of housewives.
Of course.
You know, housewives of New Jersey is what. A lot of them are. And then I'm the one that like they all are kind of like they don't really know me. They're like, oh, you. Almost like I'm beneath them because I'm a dog trainer, you know? How's the dog walking going? It's not dog walking. Number one, not dog walking. I know that. Yep. I'm like, it's dog, you know, like that. But then when I come, like, you know, like when I'm not doing it and I look a different way and they're all like, oh,
You're
I'm very confusing to people. I'm a just big confusion. Everyone looks at me and
so I hit the nail on the head with that one. It's like, why the fuck would you be doing this, Dana? You have such a good life. Like, but she had a conversation with me in the van because we did camp pickups. And you said fulfillment. Like the dog thing is so fulfilling to her that she's like, I would do this for free. You know, like I don't need money for this.
Yeah, for sure.
I can like for me, like when I went to St. John with Cassie after we got engaged, it was like like paradise place. By the second day, I'm like, this like what else are we gonna like?
You're ready.
What do we do? You know what I mean? For real, we were there for 5 days. It was like the third day. I'm like, all right, just sitting on the beach again today, like.
This is you in school.
Yeah, I gotta do something.
When you're
else.
like, I'm bored. I need to say.
But I'm like wandering around, like playing with the donkeys on the resort and shit. Like I just couldn't control myself.
Oh, this is me. Yeah, for sure.
But like how people, and then what you were saying too, I dealt with that shit back in the day. It was no pun intended, but they used to say like, well, how's the shit business going to you? Because like they say, all this kid does is just go around pick up dog shit all day.
Poop pickup.
And, you know, in the beginning, it definitely was a hard one because I was like in a group of people who were making decent money for like the way I grew up, at least, right? And I was part of it, doing it and all the thing. And then I was out of it. And then now I was making nothing, basically. And it was like, yeah, let's pick on him and all that kind of thing. And at first, I was like, really, it fucked me up big time. I was like, fuck, what is it? Like, everyone thinks I'm this. And it would piss me off. I get it. But then I started seeing I said, you know what? Forget about it. They don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, first of all, so let me just focus what I'm doing and see, do I really believe in this thing? I'm looking at these charts that are saying the dog industry is this. I love the dog thing. This is how you start a business. My father showed me how to start a business. Like that, I sees it. Okay, I think I know I can do this. And then when I stopped giving a shit what other people thought about what I was doing, aside from feedback of like my clients and things like that, when I say give a shit about people talk, I say that a lot. And I think people misinterpret that. I'm like, I don't care about people. No, I do care about people, but I don't care about their opinion on things about like my beliefs or what I believe I'm doing.
Right.
You know, it's like, I think that's a dumb move. I appreciate your feedback. I don't. And that really bothers people, by the way, when you do that. Like insecure people who want to tell you what you should be doing and all that saying. And you're like, I appreciate your opinion.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, but you should be doing it. No, I don't want to. It's almost like they get offended that like someone had the confidence to be like, I just disagree respectfully.
Right.
With that stuff.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important for the viewers to understand, pick something you believe in, get feedback, of course, but like, who are you getting feedback from, by the way?
Well, that's part of it.
Because that's who I was getting feedback from, was my in-quote friends at the time who all didn't like their jobs, but did it for the money and partied.
Right.
Yeah. So to them, it made no sense to start a business and work all like that. Why would you ever do that?
Right.
And you're just picking up shit and not making anyone But to them, they didn't like dogs. They didn't look in the future. They didn't see any of that stuff. You know.
Yeah, so they don't understand.
That's for them. So live your life, do your thing. I'm gonna do this thing.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I have to say, it's so funny. I'm getting it from a lot of people who are like, well, if you're working, 3 days, like you're not with the kids. Yeah. Like why?
Yeah, trying to shame and shit.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm a much better mother when I'm working and being fulfilled in my job.
Of course.
Like I'm so much better with that.
Yep.
The days that I'm home, when I wasn't working as much, like when they were young, I was miserable. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't, like one of them would have a tantrum and I'd go sit myself in my pantry and shut the door and literally eat cookies and just be like, take me away. I was like texting my trainer, like I'm eating cookies in the pantry again. Like it was just like, you know,
great.
it's bad.
What a
Yeah.
good
So
story.
much better place.
Yeah.
Working and being fulfilled, and
Yeah.
then I'm there. I'm present for them, and
Yeah.
I can like, you know,
Same with kids and dogs. Like,
Mothers need to be fulfilled too, guys, by the
yes,
way.
Yeah,
yes. And is a dog better fulfilled? Yes. How are your kids when they're fulfilled?
Yeah,
Much
so
more better behaved, right? Like, so
Yeah.
we should be figuring out how to fulfill people, but what fulfills that person is that the thing, and that's for you watching at home to figure out yourself.
Yes, correct.
That's
And-
your work, and you can fucking listen to everybody else. It's up to you.
That's
you don't
right.
have to do this work. I'm
Right.
telling you right now, you don't have to do it, and you can take everyone else's advice. Just know you're living someone else's life.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how many people tell me that you work way too much, and I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, yeah, but what are you doing?
Right.
So I'm always like, I'm not judging, but I assess and evaluate who's giving me instructions and
Yes.
direction and all that stuff.
Yes.
You know?
And I also think it's very important to understand when you're young and you're trying to figure out what it is you want to do. Just figure out what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't,
Yes.
you know, it becomes too complicated when you're thinking about like, well, how much money am I going to make doing that? And how am I going to do? Just focus on what you enjoy.
Yeah.
What is it that you like? It's very simple.
Yeah. Like someone likes movies. Let's just say they like obsessed with movies. Start a fucking podcast discussing movies.
Yes.
Get
Yes.
a movie thing going. See how it goes. Test it.
That's right.
Or do it for a while. See if you have a talent with it. If you don't like it, do it on your own.
Yeah.
Have a hobby and
Yeah.
then figure out something else.
Yeah.
And continue tasting and
Totally.
tasting and figure shit
Yeah.
out.
And you're never stuck.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, guess what?
You know what it
You
is
can
too.
figure something
What
else
I-
out.
You know what I believe too is a thing is that people can have a passion for a while and then it's like I want to scratch another itch, and that could be even in the same business.
Yes.
Like for instance, to a degree, it's not that it's not so much with me, I would say, but like if I was doing like session, I'm like, all right, I've done this consultation thing a lot.
Yeah.
And I like.
Yeah.
Where I'm starting to feel like it's more like chore like. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel like that, but if it felt
It
like
got to that
chore like,
to a little bit
Yeah.
to a point
where it's
for
like
you.
another one,
Yeah.
another one for the dollars, right? So we could build the play. It's like, let me scratch a different itch. Let's start developing, like, how do I build the actual ranch out right
Right.
now? Because that's what I really am interested in doing right now.
Right.
So let me do some of that.
Yes.
Like so you can do it within a business,
Yes.
within your own thing, change positions or say, hey, I want to try this.
For
that,
sure.
To
Yeah.
keep yourself fulfilled, because that itch could be scratched for a while. Like, all right, I kind of mastered it, or
Yeah.
not saying that I mastered it, but people could master a certain thing and like it. But then it's like, you know what? This is cool. And I still like it, but I'm really interested in like film.
Yes. Well,
You know?
So since working here, Adam, you know, I always love music and I always like to like imagine like what I would do to that song, right?
Yeah.
So like I've been kind of doing that with you. I'm like, oh, let's do, you know, what was the one with the big butts that we did the other day? Oh,
That one was good.
Shakira.
Do you remember that?
The
Hips
Shakira
Don't Lie.
Hips
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
Lie.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
I
was
was
so
like,
cool.
let's do, you know, Hips Don't Lie,
did it
and
right
let's
away.
tape the dogs as they walk with their butts shaking.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
for me,
yeah.
like that was an itch that I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff, you know. So like
I was gonna
that's-
say this for a little bit later, but she actually was like, "Hey, that song Paper Planes, like that's a good one.
That
Like
was a
you
great
should
one, by the way.
you should use that song."
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, this song was one of the ones I was thinking,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
look how cool it came out.
yeah, it came out great.
I just did this morning, guys.
I love it. This is a song you don't hear a lot,
Right.
so it's a good one.
Look at that, Steve.
So good.
What a crew. Yeah, what a crew.
No one's getting obviously mowed right now.
Yeah.
This is the hardest. I don't even know how they
So
fucking
good.
pull that walk off, because this is when they first get here
Yeah.
and they're like,
They're like, let's go.
all right,
That
what are we
was
doing at the
awesome.
ranch today? You know, like they're like that. I'm like, fuck, these guys were pretty behaved right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have good leaders out there.
It was good.
So yeah, I think that video for me, by the way, what it represents is going to war. Steve and I looked at that video earlier.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like we're going to war in this video, and Stevie's like, we're going to war against the freaking doggy daycares,
Yeah.
the people that are just freaking training dogs, throwing treats at them.
Yep.
We're going to war. Like, and that video was fun, yes, but it represented more
Yeah.
to me than just that. You know,
Yeah.
just fun.
Yeah, we're going at war against like the people who have like basically like been stealing people's money all this time. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that like if you're watching this and you're saying like, why is he saying? Maybe reevaluate yourself, because like if that's what you're feeling, it's likely something you're doing.
Right.
You know, so like I just want it to be where people feel like they're getting value for what they're like paying. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're getting it and they're actually getting results, and not being sold to believe that they got results. It's like, yeah, he's not
Right.
reacting. Yeah, but you also have to bring your bag of hot dogs, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that really the result you wanted to do? And you asked, they're like, no, I don't
Right.
want to do that.
Right.
I just want to walk with my dog. I'm like, all right. So would you be cool with like correcting them if he reacts, and then bringing food in the beginning maybe to
Right.
reinforce
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
does a good job, or affection or a toy or blah blah? Would you willing to do this for a phase? Yes. So you have to be like clear with them so you understand what it is and see what the person's willing to do. There's certain sessions where, who was the dog that we just had? We had some big ass dog. It was like a big, like powerful dog, like over 100-pound muscular, like pity mix thing or whatever. And the lady was like a smaller, and she's like, I just like the dog walked great in a martingale. Okay. But for her, when she got the leash, just having that, because she had got pulled once by the dog, she was like, I'm just like, and I'm like, what would make? She's like, I see those. Like, she's like, I've used a prong collar before, and I felt way better with it. But people should like have big issues with that shit.
Right.
And I'm like, let's put one on and let's see how it goes. Maybe if that makes you feel that way, as long as you know how to use that thing super properly and not injure the dog in any way, use it for sure.
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
A prong collar is a spike. Okay, let me come over and let me show you how the fucking tool works one time, and then you can see that it's not the end of the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can the tool be used in a bad way? Yes, but so can a harness, so can a slip lead, so can
so can a
halty,
knife. A knife
so
can
a knife. Yeah.
murder people.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
But we use it for cutting vegetables, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Or cut people who talk shit.
Cut you.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, who's the human behind the tool?
For sure.
That's right.
Tool doesn't do shit.
That's right.
Here, put a prong collar right here. What does it do? It kills people and injures dogs and stabs them. And no. But what if I just put it on the dog and it just sits on the dog? What happens then? Nothing. What happens when you put a leash to it? Nothing. What happens when you put the human's hand in it? Now it's something different.
Right.
So who's the human behind the dog? Who's the human behind the tool? And what tool makes that person work? This is for the dog trainers. Like, getting stuck with one tool. If people think that I'm stuck on the slip lead, I just find it to be the best one.
Yeah.
Because it's the most basic. It's a rope. It's like stick a rope on your dog that gives beautiful pressure and release. And if you learn how to do it the right way, it's easy. And there should have no pressure on the leash walking your dog.
Second runner up to that, just from what I see that we use a good amount, is martingale.
Yeah, or
puppies.
or halty or like
The figure eight. Yeah.
Yeah, figure eight. Because that's another good one. I see the figure eight as like training wheels for the slip, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's one where it brings like the dog's face. Yeah, I think we've done this before with the dog. But like the slip leads here, but then now the halty or the figure eight is up here. So your leverage point is at the front of the dog, so you can control
on the
way better.
nose. Yeah, right here.
Like if I was gonna move a dog, I wouldn't try to move him in the middle of the body.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would move from like the as close to the head, collar, neck, like wherever I can to move because the body's long.
Yes.
It's different than ours, you know?
Yeah.
So people don't realize the body mechanics of it.
Right.
I would love to do like a workshop on like just that of like not so much like the heel and all that, like not that shit, but just like getting someone to just take a leash and just learn the body mechanics, how to walk with a dog and just walk in directions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's a lot that has to be learned by that. And that's something that I didn't realize about how much sports prepared me from working with these dogs. Like, and I noticed it even increased when I started taking the Muay Thai and the Jiu-Jitsu shit because you're really learning about your body and how to move.
Yeah.
And athletic stances and shit like that. So I think without a doubt, like athleticism is definitely part of, because sometimes, I'll be honest, like sometimes I see these trainers, I'm like, what in the hell is this person going to do if like fucking that dog that I dealt with went after, because I was in a fucked up situation where I'm 38 and I'm in decent shape.
Yeah.
Like this is in the 60s, overweight, and like what the hell are they going to do?
Yeah.
And I just think it's a huge part of like being able to do that. And what do the dogs want us to be? Fit, healthy, eating well, so we can be active and outdoors and doing shit.
Right.
You know? So why don't we be that?
It's like the two don't go together. Like being unhealthy and out of shape and working with dogs. Like it doesn't go together.
Right.
Not the So who was asking me? It was like we had some people from Memorial Day on Sunday, and they were like, yeah, like you working out? I'm like, yeah, working out, feeling good. They're like, what do you do for cardio? And I was like, walk all the time. Yeah. Yeah, literally nonstop, or bike. Granted, we have the e-bike, so but we're walking nonstop.
Yes.
You know, because like the bodybuilders, when they work out, but they do cardio of just walking, just because they want to just keep it slow pace, just burn calories and da-da-da-da. So we're getting so much walking, and they were saying that one of the best things that a human being can do in life is walk.
Do you ever look at your steps?
No.
I look at my
I did in
steps.
Hoboken.
Okay.
I did the Fitbit.
Well, now I have it because
insane.
of the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
You know, so it actually tracks accurately because I have the watch on.
Yeah.
And like we looked at it last week, and like every day was 20,000 steps easily.
Shit.
Yeah.
It was like
a day.
What that like easily average.
But
every
a day? Oh, an average a day though.
Every day.
Oh shit.
It was 20,000.
Yeah.
Because my foot was hurting, and my
How many
husband
steps
was
are
like,
in a
"Let's
mile?
look at it." Oh.
Would you say? I guess every person's different.
I don't do
But
math.
I remember when I got the Fitbit, I was like, oh, let's see what we do. Because that was when we were in Hoboken. Morning walk I was doing every morning. Then I'm doing 2 sessions a day, doing those sessions, doing more with the boarding trains. No, like walking. It was like, today, let's Fitbit. Let's try to hit 10,000 for your first day. Like, it would be great if you could hit that. I'm on my first walk.
I was
my
gonna
arm's
say.
like, what the fuck? 10,000.
By
Congratulations, you hit
9:30.
your goal. It's like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
All right. But that day, no joke, I think I had like 36,000 steps.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
some
I'm not
crazy
surprised.
shit like that.
It's
or
a lot of walk.
40,000 or
Yeah.
something nuts.
Yeah, you need to be in good shape to do
Yeah,
all this. Like, you
for sure.
definitely do.
Yeah.
It's like the trainers who are fat.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You're going to train
Well,
me?
look,
He
This
was
is
just
the
saying that too. Oh, the trainers, physical,
like
physical trainers.
like working out
That makes-
trainers.
yeah, you don't see that either.
Like they're like if they're overweight,
Yeah.
it's like you're gonna tell me how to lose weight.
That's
You
right. I
look
know. I know.
fat. Like
Well, that's the thing, and it's also when people are dealing with when you see someone with like excessive weight, they're dealing with imbalance.
yeah,
Period. It's just an imbalance of literally an imbalance of calories in and out, or something imbalance in the body with hormones and things like that that needs to be dealt with.
yeah,
But people are just like, whatever, I can't like do it. I've been on that nutrition journey since like I don't even know, probably 16.
yeah.
Like trying to find what's right. I
Figure
just
out.
found out I'm like can't eat gluten.
Yeah,
Like torture, but it is what it is.
I'm in the same boat.
I feel so much better. And then, okay, to give you the perspective, now I know. Because people said, like, but dude, if you're that intolerant to gluten, how have you been, like, eating gluten your whole life in an Italian family with the pastas?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't know any. There was no contrast.
Yeah.
Right? So then now I've been off of it for, 2 months or whatever it's been. Memorial Day, we get Uncle Giuseppe's.
You did have pasta?
I had some,
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck it, whatever. Memorial Day, I was like, I'm just gonna do this, and then I'm gonna like do a nice little cleanse thing, which I'm doing today, which is why my energy is a little bit lower. If this is low energy, I don't know. But then I ate that, and then the next, like yesterday, I was like so fucking groggy, and like felt
I was just
terrible.
gonna say
Monday
that
and
to you.
Tuesday.
And today, what's today?
Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday, yes.
Yeah,
I
it
felt
puts you in like a food coma.
Yeah.
That's what happens to me. Yeah,
just
it's-
sluggish and
Yes.
and then I noticed how my stomach was really bothering me. Like I was feeling like gassy and
Yeah,
like,
it's bad.
Bloated.
Like stomach pain, but bloated, like the whole thing.
Yeah,
And
your
then how I
body
just
can't-
overall feel like, I'm like, wow. So now I understand, but I've been like
The difference.
literally running with like a governor on my engine my whole life.
Yeah.
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 It's pretty fucking
crazy.
crazy to think about. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I had this much energy, so I've been like get that this shit out of the way. I'll eat healthy because I know what it makes me feel like.
Yes.
I know what I
For
can
sure.
accomplish in life. And to me, it's like, what can we accomplish in our lifetime here? Mm-hmm. That's it.
You
Yeah.
know what was good at your party there? The meatballs.
Hell yeah.
Those are good from
God.
Uncle Giuseppe's. is
That
the
place,
name.
I live there.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
really?
I
incredible.
love it.
It's pretty good.
So
Yeah.
for those who don't know, Uncle Giuseppe's is like basically a huge supermarket that's like a big Italian deli.
They
Catering almost.
have a man who walks around with a microphone singing Frank Sinatra while you're
No
shopping.
way.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, it's
The
great.
first time I went to that store, I said,
hilarious.
how in the world have I never been to this place?
It's
You know?
awesome.
And then I finally find the place, and now you're gluten free.
I know. Believe me.
Yeah.
They have great gluten-free pasta
They
there,
do.
though.
Though.
Oh,
they do.
You know.
That's the good thing, though. Now is like
That's
with this whole everyone because what really happened in my opinion is the gluten got all fucked up with the GMOs and all
Yeah,
this
that's
and
what I
everything.
feel like happened.
So now, like, everyone got screwed up from it, but now there's so many alternatives that are coming out that I'm wondering, like, when is now, like, the almond flours and that going to have GMO?
Yeah, I
Because
know,
now
I
we're
know.
going mass into, not really mass, but we're going into that way more.
Yeah.
But, yeah, nutrition's a huge part of it. That's body and mind, mind, heart.
Yes.
I mean, that's balance for people.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
to take care of your body, you got to take care of your mind, and you got to take care of your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Emotional bank account and financial bank account. But physical bank account, too. I never thought about that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like a lot of people emotionally eat too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, so it's the mental too.
It really
you
is.
know?
It
like,
really is mental that then leads to the physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know how many people identify as I'm a fat person? Like, I'm fat. Yeah, our family's just fat. We're big boned.
Oh,
we're just
like
this.
that's
They
just how we are.
that
Yeah.
going back to what we said
Yeah.
before, that's the belief. The
Yeah,
belief
yeah.
is we are this.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
So
you're just
sure
fat.
enough-
You're fat now. You don't have to be forever.
Yeah.
Right.
So what that person should so what that person should really be saying, I say, are you fat? And they go, no.
Yeah.
Well, you look it, yeah, well, no, I'm not. Because the mind has to believe that it's not.
Right.
So the body can then catch up.
Can
to the
do
mind.
it. Yeah.
So when I work out now, what I do is I actually envision like my like muscles way bigger than they are. I really do. I do it in my mind, and I've like noticed that my workouts are better, and I get like more accomplished doing it.
Yeah.
Because the mind is like, yeah, you're a fucking beast. That you can crush these like incline push-up
Yeah.
things, like no problem.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. But then I start getting tired, and it's like, think about that fucking size. Oh yeah, like,
Yeah.
you can do it. It's how. Whatever, we know it. It's just the mind is so damn powerful. That's where you guys have to focus.
So right, correct.
Understanding yourself, observation.
Yes. So I had an incident a couple weeks ago where I got on the Peloton
I'm sweating
after
up here, by the way. It's getting hot. Yeah.
I got on the Peloton after like 3 weeks of not doing it. So I was really not
Yeah.
not up to par.
Yeah.
But mentally, I was like, oh, I just 3 weeks ago I did that time. I could do that,
Yeah,
and I did it because mentally I was like, I can do it.
Yeah.
And I almost fucking died.
What was
Almost
But
died.
you did it. Though.
Yeah.
I did do it,
Yeah.
but I almost died. My physical body
Yeah.
was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I literally was laying on the ground in the basement and Kevin, I had to call him. I thought I was going to pass out. He had to bring ice down to me. I was like laying there. I was like, oh my God. Like I almost vomited. It was
But
terrible.
the SEALs, what do the SEALs say? They have the 40, is it the 40% rule? I can't remember if it's 40 and if it's like you only, like when you believe this is all you have left, you
Yeah.
actually have like 40% left more
More
of
than
what,
you
you realize. And
Yeah.
that's what their job as a SEAL instructors is to push those guys to that limit. So when they're going
crazy.
into
That's
war,
cool.
it's like, you're gonna have to, literally gonna have to kill me.
Yeah.
to
That's
stop me.
crazy.
Yeah,
Well, being here with Pack Leader Dogs, I've definitely realized my threshold, my limit is like way higher.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing production like in the movie television world, but you know how it is there. It's like
Yeah.
you work, but it's like, dude, you're chilling for a lot of the time. So it's
Yeah.
like you're working, you're chilling. Here, I've worked the hardest, like as far as on my craft, as I have anywhere else. So it's like I do feel like being here, and most people will feel like that too. You doing the dog thing. We just went through boot camp here. You
Yeah.
know, we went through the Navy SEAL training here. We figured our true cap, our true threshold is much further. We probably don't even know where it is.
That's
To be
right.
honest, we probably don't even know
That's
what it is
right.
because we've gotten to push it back so much further that it's
Yeah.
like we have no idea now where it is.
Yeah.
So we're limitless essentially.
Because it's the thing. What I always used to say, like when we used to do the walks in Hoboken, I'd be like, "What are these other companies doing as far as like giving, like videos and whatever?"
Right.
And I was like, I found who did the most, and I said, "Good, we're gonna do more than that."
Right.
And we
Yeah.
did that, and
Yeah.
we were doing the most. And then now we came, and then at first it was like, "Wow, it's a lot. We get all these videos and pictures." But then they realized it wasn't that bad, and then now we're here, and then we're already discussing how we're gonna do more.
Right.
So now it's like, now when I say, "Do you think we can do more?" Yeah, we could definitely do more.
Yeah.
Let's do more.
Yeah.
But before it was like, I don't know, this is a lot. Different
For
people
sure.
too now.
Right.
Also, it's
Yeah.
like a different mindset here for
Yeah.
sure. There's been a little bit of a shift since Corona, which I really like the way things are going now.
Yeah.
I like
Me
the
too.
energy here. I like everyone's attitude. Really part of it. And like one thing that I just realized is like having people who just want to just get the job done is like, it's not. There's companies out there for you for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you could thrive there and do all that stuff, but it's just that we're not that. We're just
Right.
not a company where you're going to come in and coast.
Right.
Because
Right.
eventually you're going to get weeded out. And
Right.
it's just how it goes. We don't have time to just, get by shit. We want people. But that can sound terrifying, I guess, too. Like saying that. We don't want people to just get by because they'd be like, wow, it's like a lot of work. Like, but it's work, but it's like, all right, like, let's take these dogs and like, da-da-da. Like, I mean, there's a lot of freedom here, too. I think you
Yes,
feel that,
for
right?
sure.
Like, what do you want to, like, I'm going to take this dog and I'm going to work today this, and this.
Yes.
Because, and we're checking in and all that.
Yeah.
That's why I love the freedom of it and yeah, just being able to do what the hell we want to do.
Yeah, it's great.
I really like it. I think it's important for people to understand in a business about understanding. Okay, this is one that's been fascinating to me lately too. Is like how people's own worth, right? Meaning their assessment of their value.
Okay.
So this is what I'm saying. I've been watching a lot about like in the sexual marketplace, right? Like
Okay.
in the dating world, let's just say.
Yeah.
People who have literally no clue about what their actual value is in the marketplace. And then they're like, I want this guy who's like, he's 6'3", he's 220, he's ripped, six pack, makes $1 million a year, has a mansion, has this, great. Okay, so what about you? I have no job. I'm it's just like you have nothing going for you. You're not going to get that guy. He's
Right.
not going to get you.
Right.
So the same thing that happens in business is like the people come in and they're like, I want $255,000, and I want. It's like you're the skill of like a janitor. What do you mean? You know what I mean? So then they'll say that company sucks. That company sucks. That company. These guys are assholes. These guys are assholes.
Yeah.
This woman's a bitch. Blah blah blah. But the real problem is who? That person. Who didn't
Right.
calibrate themselves and understand what their value is now. It's not undervaluing. It's saying what am I worth now and what can I be worth.
Right.
And also understanding the landscape too. Like
Right.
what do I need to do to get to this place?
Right.
So that's something I used to say to Caesar. Caesar, what do I need to do to be your like number one guy? And he would fucking tell me. So I
Yeah.
need to know the lay of the land. I need to know where I was going.
Yes.
This is what you need to do.
Yeah.
This. I want you to work with these dogs
Yeah.
and this and spread the message.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I just think that shit's like so important to people to it's again just another scenario of looking within instead of
Yes.
looking out there for the
Yes.
answers.
And I do think that there's some people that are just cowards.
Yeah.
Who are afraid to ask that.
Yes.
And that's
Damn, she said it straight up.
Yeah.
it's
Straight up, cowards.
Yeah, and listen,
But it's truth.
It is truth. I
Yeah,
know-
I'm
I
not
know
saying
that it
I'm not
is.
saying that the event wasn't like things that happened wasn't like made them fearful
Right.
about it, but they are
No.
being cowardly by not going
That's
to
right.
face that shit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because no one else can do it but them.
Yes, correct.
And maybe they need help to do it. That's fine. Or guidance on how to do it. Look up hypnotherapy. You don't even need to do shit. Sit in a chair and lay back.
You still have to do it. You haven't done it.
The yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sit back and then you're going to get tapped right into that subconscious mind and shit's going to come out that it feels like it needs to come out.
Yeah.
And you really get to learn about like that shit for me was like so damn good.
It was good.
Yeah. It's so good because you're just like, I don't know how you felt about doing that,
best.
but it's like you're going in there and you're like, I wonder what's going to come up or what am I going to say?
Well, you
Or
have-
like you're thinking
like,
about like
nervous.
how to prepare, but
You
you're in
have
a
a-
conscious mind there.
You have a preconceived
Right.
notion of like, okay, I think I'm going to go down this path.
Yeah.
And you come out of it, you're like, what the hell did I just say and do? And
Yeah.
That's crazy.
it was, but in a good way, meaning that the ego protects a lot of that stuff, or
Yeah.
Yes.
your comfort zone or your safety patterns that
Right.
you have protects you from the shit that you don't want to be facing.
Yeah.
Which hypnotherapy like removes a veil. I think you've said that before.
You know what I just had a
It
crazy
removes
thing?
it removes the veil. I think you said that
Yeah.
statement before.
But you want to hear something crazy that I just had a revelation about?
As I'm talking,
Yeah.
I knew it. It's like the things I say is like sparks great,
So
great
thought-provoking.
thought provoking.
Thought-provoking. But it was so when I did my hip now, it was a situation of like because you know how I can fucking eat when I want to eat, right? So I was trying to figure out like so something came out about my eating habits,
Really?
and where they came from,
shit.
and how I can eat like put the
some
Italian
food
combo.
down.
I'll eat. Most
Yeah.
people have like half of a half. I'll eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, but it was like not that I want to. I'm
Right.
like I'm
Dude,
full,
yeah.
but I just keep eating and keep
It's-
eating.
Italians.
Yeah, so it was a whole thing like that. But then, like that came out. The event that like one of the things that came out was about why I was like this, and then all of a sudden I just realized, like not too long after that, it was never planned or thought about or anything like that. I went to go just see this doctor about like the hormones
Yeah.
and like eating habits and allergies and all this shit. And since then, my eating habits have been so much better since that event. I just had that like realization out of nowhere
What? Oh, after the hypno or
after the hypno.
yeah.
That event came out about like something happened in my past that caused me to like overeat, basically. Just eat when I like.
Well,
eat
that's
more
why I
than-
got confused because he didn't actually say what the event was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He didn't say what the event was. So I was like, wait, which event?
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was like a kid like eat more shit. Like come on,
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
Like you know,
Yeah.
that like a Italian thing, right?
Yeah.
Not from my parents, from my grandparents. So
My grandma too.
Yeah.
That's why
Come
I
on,
do
eat,
it.
eat,
My
eat.
grandma was like, "There's kids starving in Africa.
Yeah,
Eat
yeah.
the whole plate." So I have it drilled in my head that everything on my plate I have to eat.
Yes.
It's the Italians.
You're not the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
person I've heard that from. I've heard that from a few people.
Yeah.
From the Italian household. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
and that was the same thing with like for my grandmother's side. That was for sure. Like, do you understand what it takes to get food?
Yeah.
Stupid
yes.
kid. Like
yes.
it's like that's really what it and it's like
They were
oh,
coming
dude.
off the war. Just remember
Well,
that.
Correct.
I know where it comes
Remember
from.
that shit.
but
Oh,
they're
it
coming to a
screwed
country
me
with no
up.
money.
Yeah.
It screwed me
They're
up
figuring
too.
out how to eat. Like
Yeah.
they're thinking in their mind, I came to this country and I'm figuring out how to get a fucking meal
Yes,
tonight.
right.
And this spoiled
This
kid
little
who was born in
kid,
America
yes.
has got gnocchi coming to his plate and he's
Yeah.
not eating all of
Yes,
it. What's
yeah.
wrong with him?
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
So different perspectives, obviously. But
Yeah.
that event, like with the thing and
Created
the
that.
eating, my point is that I never consciously thought about like, you know what I should do is like, it just happened that I happened to go to some healthy aging doctor who was like, dude, these hormones, your gluten,
Yeah.
this is off. I was like, wow. And then my health's gotten so much better.
So like subconsciously you think that you did that. Yeah.
100%. I think that was a
Part of it.
block.
Yeah.
That was like a belief that you must eat the whole plate, Then I got to see it, but also like to a degree forgive for
Right.
doing that because I was like, why would you thinking in my mind like, God, I had to eat
Why am
all
I
this
like this?
food and
Yeah, yeah.
and blame. I could have, right? But then I had more of an understanding of why it happened.
Right.
What the reasoning was for it. So then I could see it clearly and it's like,
You're like, let's change.
Now you can change it.
Let's go
now I
change.
got like just so I people are terrified to see like what's there
Yeah.
instead. So they're like, what am I gonna see? It's gonna be terrible. I'm like, just be grateful that you can see.
For real.
You know how many
Right.
people are blind? They're walking around with the blindfold on. They just
Right.
this is what I'm saying. There's so many people who go through life traumatized in childhood and they just coast through life.
Yeah.
And die.
Yeah.
They never look at themselves. They never understand themselves. They never put an effort
Never
in.
deal with it.
Nope. Just
Yeah.
coast and just go with live in my subconscious
Yeah.
and just coast and do the same shit over and
Yeah.
over in a little bit of a different way every day.
Yeah.
And the world is wrong. This is wrong. That's the problem. Never me.
Yeah.
It's. Why do I know that? Because there's someone who was like that back in the day. Me, you know. So I know it. I had both sides. I had the contrast to sit living a certain
Right.
way to compare now.
right.
I would
But
think this way.
but then those are the times that you're so thankful
Yes.
that you went through it because then it has enabled you to see
Yeah.
Oh, I learned a lot from that because that's how I used to
That's what
be.
we were talking about,
Right.
the regret thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the regret.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you
I
share a
saw
little bit
one
about that? That was
somewhere-
so fascinating.
I saw somewhere where someone said about regret, you can't regret anything that you can't change.
And that's pretty much all freaking things. All
Yeah.
the things that you've done in the past, you can't fucking change it. You
Right.
did it already. So why
Right.
would you regret that?
Yeah.
Like
Wait,
you could regret, like
You can regret the future things, like the things that you don't do because you know what I'm saying. Like
Let's
if
just
you
say like
don't-
you regret like buying a car, but then like you can still buy the car. That's like
Right.
a different way of it.
Yeah.
But what it's more of like like I did something in the past. Well, can you do anything about it now? No, but aside from be a good person and be better. Oh, then
Well,
do that. Because there's nothing you can do. Why regret that event? Because that
Right.
event got you to see that you need to be a better person.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say is that I feel like with regret, you always can learn something
Yeah.
from it. So
Right.
like,
And
so
sometimes it takes time.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if it's like I regret not going to that party with my father, and then he died the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't do anything about that now.
Yeah.
But that taught you something on how to deal with
Live in
that
the
scenario.
moment.
Live in the
Yeah.
moment. Like, go to that party next time with whoever because
Yeah.
it might be,
Yeah.
you learn.
That's it. I agree with you.
Definitely.
You
I agree.
know?
It's like you can get like I've talked about it many times, like hitting rock bottom. Like at the time, it's like, hey, so Steve, you want to experience that shit again? Like with the breaking up with the fiance and the
Yeah.
friend and all this shit. No, I
Yeah.
don't want to deal with that again.
Yeah.
Would you take it away if you could go back? No.
No,
I agree.
that made you who you are. You said
100%.
Yeah.
that was a great conversation that you and I had about that. It was really brief.
Yeah.
But I was like, Steve,
Oh,
you
about the
do
regrets.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Steve, you do have regrets. Like you've told me that there was some stuff that you wish you didn't
Yeah.
do. You're like, yeah, you're right. I wished I didn't do it, but I did do it, and I'm glad that it did happen because it made me who I am today.
Yes.
It like I learned from it. Like
It's almost like
Totally.
it was like I look at it as like I was on like a bad life path, and that was like
Yeah.
a life correction, and I'm grateful
Yes.
for it.
Yes. Well, I had the same thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had a fiance that didn't work out, and
Yeah.
it was the worst day to go through, right?
But now-
but best day of my life.
Yeah.
right.
100%.
Yep.
I mean, besides my kids being born.
Yeah.
And getting married. But
Yeah.
yes, like
No
that
offense.
changes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
well,
changes
that
you.
ended up happening because of that event, though, too.
Correct?
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is like though your kids that you have now don't exist if that day doesn't happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Bizarre.
It's very bizarre.
We both said the same thing, different ways.
Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm probably not here.
Yeah.
If I don't hit rock bottom, I'm probably not with Cassie. If I don't have a
Right.
business,
Right.
I'm probably in Guantanamo, whatever, one of these prisons somewhere. Like,
That's fascinating.
Rikers
that,
Island.
That Steve knows that he was like, dude, I was on a path of like, I was probably going to be in jail. Or
Yeah.
something.
oh yeah, in retrospect, now I can see it. In the time, I was
Yeah,
doing what's
no.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, party, live
You're
it up.
too
You're in
in it.
Hoboken,
You're too in
drink,
it
party, this, fucking live life like a crazy Wall Street guy, but you're not on Wall Street. You know what I mean? Yeah, but then you go to this. This
Yeah.
is very interesting.
yeah.
Pops, you asleep down there?
For me, he wouldn't be here.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
true
true.
too. Yeah.
That's true.
By the way, it's Senior's birthday. It's Steve's Senior's birthday
Yep.
today.
Wish
Happy birthday, Steve.
Senior, happy birthday.
Shouts out to the big
Big
guy.
s-
Happy
big
birthday.
66.
Having
So-
some gluttonous dinner tonight.
Some gluten.
Some,
Extra
some
gluten.
glutinous, some gluttonous
Extra
gnocchi.
gluten.
Yucky.
Yeah.
Take double time on my birthday.
Yeah.
Nice.
As Stephen would say, 2 times 0 is 0.
Correct. That's right. Pay nothing? We'll pay you 10 times today. No problem.
Nice. I think a good title for this podcast is "Follow Your Dreams to Reach True Fulfillment."
Yep.
That's going to be the name of this
a good one.
podcast. It was great. This conversation was great. Dana, sharing what she went through and stuff like that. I think we're gonna end up getting some messages
Yeah.
from some moms that want to be trainers that are like, I'm
Yeah,
doing it.
good.
Dana did it. I'm doing it. So
And people
that's-
need to dream bigger.
For
that You
sure.
were saying about dreams.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people need to dream bigger.
For sure.
As far as I'm concerned.
For sure.
Like,
'Cause
why,
you'll never accomplish more than what your biggest dream is. Or biggest goal. Let's put it
and
that
why
way.
would you dream realistically?
Yeah. For
It's
what?
a dream.
It's
You
a
can
fucking
dream whatever
dream.
you want.
Yeah, dream what you want. Well,
Yeah.
when people do dreams, they a lot of times they're like, the first thing this is actually a good one. So right now, just go like this. Say, what's your biggest goal? Like, what would you want if you could have it? Like, what's your dream? What's the dream? What is it? Because I want to know how many people went to a money amount first.
For sure.
It's a good one to say.
It's true. Good test.
Did you go to 7 billion or 16 million?
I
or
dreamed that I
100
could be a
million or 50?
multimillionaire. It's like, damn, okay, but how are you going to get there? But like, are you happy when you get to your
Yeah.
multimillionaires?
And start being maybe more. And what I say about dreams too is be more clear and more vivid about them.
Yeah.
Like more like this is what I'm doing, and I do this and and then
how do
I
you
drive
feel?
this car. Okay, so this is another good one, and this is it's a little bit into the money thing, but what I was reading all these successful people, right, and they were
Yeah.
saying about smell the leather, right? That whole thing. So when I'm at, I would
really
go
good
to the
one.
Caesar workshops, right?
Uh-huh.
And on the days off, we would have 2 days off. Me and Yoa and Todd, we would get like a sick place. We get like a beachfront in Malibu. It was fucking 2 nights. It was like
Yeah.
for 3 guys, like we could handle it, right? And we would rent like a Porsche or rent a Maserati or blah 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 and all that stuff. And what would everybody remember? All the people, they're all like, "This guy's like, what is their deal? Like buying all this shit and da da da." Like, and my point is the assumptions that are made where no one even knew what the fuck was going on, and when they finally understood, they're like, "Oh." That makes sense. So you're trying to put your mind into what it would be like to have a lifestyle like this.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. That makes sense. Okay, but the assumptions were, wow, these guys must be killing it in money. They must be so rich. We weren't. These guys are they spend way too much money and like they're all about money and all that shit. No, we're not. It's like all the assumptions that are made to that stuff, and to me, it's yeah.
That is true.
I don't know.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? But that's something that people can do of like. Because it's what that represents. It means that the finances would represent for me in this that we've accomplished a ton. That means that just like that this business went amazing.
Right.
So I'm like putting my mind into how do I like all avenues or how do I get to that place? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You're
Yes.
reverse engineering it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this is what.
Yeah.
What is it like to walk into the Porsche dealership? What's it like?
All right.
Not saying you have to go get one.
Right.
Just know what it's like and what would it feel like. Go in there with the mentality and really looking like I'm going to buy one of these cars.
Yeah.
Maybe not today, but in the
Yeah.
future I will.
Yeah.
Like put that mentality. So you have the ability, but how many people say I could never afford a Porsche? That's my point on this whole thing. It's not about the money and all that thing. There are limitations. I could never do that.
Yes.
I can't. I won't. I never. Da da da. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Says who?
Yeah.
Has anyone in the world ever owned a Porsche? Yeah. There's a big ass company who's sold millions of Porsches. So you could be one of them if you really want that. But my point is if anyone ever done it, you can do it.
Yeah. For sure. I agree.
Most things. Like
Yeah.
I can't go be a center for the Knicks. I probably could, to be honest, but I would just suck. You know, but yeah, like there's certain things that happen in life, and you have to
Yeah.
be realistic
I was gonna say there's
about
gonna be,
things and talents
yes.
and this. Like
Yes.
you know, like you can't have someone who's 4 feet tall playing center for the Knicks.
That's right.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yes.
But that's also being realistic. I mean, again, I hate that realistic shit too because realistic. To
It's
who?
hard. I know.
No, I wouldn't say realistic. I would just say be real with yourself.
Yeah.
To
On
say,
skill levels
to
and
say
shit.
well to also say like, dude, is this possible?
Yeah.
Because I can say I want to fly,
Yeah.
but what's the limitation there?
Well, right.
Gravity.
Nothing. I'll just throw you out the window.
No, I'll fly for those 2 seconds.
That's ironic.
but I can't fly because gravity is a limitation. So
Yes.
what are your limitations? Like you have certain limitations. A shorter person trying to play basketball has
Yeah.
limitations, you know? So be real about your limitations, but then what's the next best thing? It's
Yeah.
like, actually, I wanted to play basketball, but I also wanted to be an artist. Artist has very little limitations. Dude.
Yeah.
Go fucking learn that.
Yeah.
You
Go
also
do
need
that.
to really know yourself well.
That's what I'm
And
saying
that's
too.
a lot
yeah.
of people
Right. That's-
don't because they've not given themselves an opportunity to get to know themselves well.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
always striving to be what mom wants.
True.
What dad, you
What
know,
people
what
tell
is-
them they are.
like you really need to know yourself very well
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
order to have that goal.
Yeah.
And some people don't reach that till later on in life, like maturing and
Yeah,
you know.
and what's his name? The guy who said who's like it's simple to observe what's wrong with others, but to observe what's wrong with yourself takes an
Yes.
enormous amount of observation.
Yes.
So why spend if it takes that much time to really learn yourself, and could potentially take a whole entire lifetime? Why are we worried about
True.
what everyone else is doing?
True.
Yep.
You know, you use people for feedback
Yeah.
when you need it. Like, hey, did I seem too intense in that meeting?
Right.
Yeah, Steve, you did. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah,
One thing I realized about myself is I try to fix people.
Oh,
yeah, that was me too.
Heal/fix people.
Yes.
Like forcefully. It's like they don't even want the help. It's like, no, but you're gonna take my help. It's
Yeah,
like, dude.
yes.
So I learned that about myself. That's one
Yes.
big awareness thing for myself that I did.
Yeah, it's understanding what is. That's the other thing. It's like understanding what is in the moment, being able to assess and evaluate is another big skill. Because is this person prepared?
Yeah.
Are they ready to grow?
Yes.
A lot
That's a
of people
big one for
aren't.
you,
A lot
too.
of people are not ready to grow. That was a big one for me. Is that
sure.
like I was really like he's talking about like pushing people. Like I was like on people, like
Yeah.
really fucking like. And I was getting like bothered by it.
Yes.
Yes.
Like emotionally getting upset about it. That like, what am I missing? Why won't this fucking person
You would get frustrated with
step
it?
up or like do the change? It's so obvious to me if they just did these things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so obvious because what wasn't obvious to me is that they're not ready to deal with their past, I
Right.
guess, at this point.
Yeah.
And
you would-
everyone's on their own timeline and stuff.
You would get frustrated with it. I would more so get like hurt myself. I would get sick about it. Like he would get frustrated, be like, man, angry, almost anger. Let's just call it that. Yeah. For me, I would get like physically ill about trying to help somebody that didn't need or want the help. You know?
Right.
Like, that's kind of
like
the difference between you and I on that one.
Yeah.
Were you gonna add?
Well, I was just gonna say like you do a very good job at that in sessions though, and I've noticed is like matching the expectations people have.
Yeah.
Because people will be like, it's like a dog who, can't walk on a leash yet.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want off leash. And you're like, okay, well, we might be able to get there, but it's going to require this, and this, and this. Are you willing to put in that time and effort to change?
Yeah.
To get to your goal,
You're like, well, I don't know about that.
Not really.
Okay, so let's work on the leash walking
so
for now.
let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Right?
Right now.
So it's like very similar.
Or be real with yourself.
Yeah, be real with yourself. You know, are you going to put in all this time?
You know what it is? Because this is the same thing that happens is people aren't willing to put in the work.
Right.
It's changed over time. Like in my opinion, like past generations were willing to do way more because they didn't have as much. There wasn't as much abundance. So they had to go get their shit. Nowadays, it's like there's all this abundance around. They're like,
Right.
Why? Yeah. I can just sit home and get my unemployment check. Fuck it.
Right. Yeah, it's a problem.
Why bother?
That's a big problem.
Yeah. So that's
a whole other thing.
Yeah. I thought that was a great
It's funny, but
podcast.
it's everyone I talk to. You look at the unemployment rates. It's like all these business owners that I talk to. They're like, we can't get fucking anybody at the spa. We can't get anybody at the thing. I'm like, I know the feeling.
I told Steve because he was kind of in a desperate mode of like, man, we need people. And I was like, yo, people are coming. So I changed it from like desperation mode of we need people to like, hey, they're coming, they're on their way. We actually want more elite people anyway. Yeah. And then as soon as we had that conversation, might have been like a month later or something like that.
All of a sudden,
people flooded through. And you were actually one of the people that came more full time and So change your thoughts.
It's so true because like it's
and have people around you too. But sorry to cut you off. Have people around you that are audit your thoughts for you. So Steve will go off in a tangent. I'm like, hey buddy, remember what we all do together.
Yeah. So the point is that this is like shit that I study nonstop, and I still find myself like, why the
doing
fuck do I say like we can't find good people? Like I'm creating it. I'm doing this shit that I'm telling everybody not to do. But I remove that frustration into gratitude of like, I'm starting to see this more and more. I'm starting to understand what I'm doing here, and I'm catching myself. And this is my own journey of growth. Yeah. And the whole thing's about growth. Yeah. Life, like Tony Robbins says, progress. So you have the opportunity to grow. Life's good.
Right.
But it doesn't mean always grow finance. Grow your muscles. Grow your bank account.
Your brain.
Grow your brain. Grow your calmness. Grow your respect. Grow your gratitude. Like grow things.
For sure.
Definitely.
It's good.
Just don't grow your belly.
Yeah.
I was good at that too.
Yeah. We all were.
All that gluten.
We all the Italian food.
Dude, the cookie story with her cracked me.
That's a great one. Because I'm visualizing it.
Yeah,
like
me too.
Like eating cookies.
Yeah. Hiding from the kids.
So
happened a lot.
Yeah.
Man.
So so going with what I said earlier that I'm going to be doing. I'm still doing consultations. I'm still here. I'm still doing the whole thing. I'm just moving more into the business development side of things to develop this ranch because I realize like how much of an undertaking this actually is that I need to be like present and have my vision and clear of what we want to do here. So Dana and Dave and Christian are going to be doing sessions now. I've been working with them a lot. I'm going to be assisting. You never know when I'm just going to pop into a session when you book them. So if you're interested in working with Dana, send us fill out the form. What is it on the website? www.packleaderdogs.com/contact.
Yep.
And you can request a trainer. Dana's going to be one of the people there. It's excellent. And you guys know I'm on bringing people on who are bullshit. It's just not going to happen.
And what can people look forward to when working with you?
If Steve's not there.
To be honest, we just have a lot of fun.
Nice.
Like it's, it's helpful. Obviously, I'm going to help you with your issues, but it's fun. Like this isn't like boot camp, like we're going to like get to the bottom of whatever's happening, and we'll have fun doing it.
We'll have fun. We're going to talk some real shit. We're going to get your dog better. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. 100%. I'm really going to want to get you to do the best with your dog and be like, talk to you as if you're like my best friend. You know what I mean? And this is what I really think you need to do. Yeah. And that's what I've spent. You know what's funny is that people think that like here we're like really just talking about the dogs. It's like, oh, we do this with the dog, but we're talking about the flow of a session. We're talking about energy and people and how you get. See, what I noticed about this person was she said this, so I did. It's like all that stuff of making the people really truly understanding people and giving them a ton of value.
For sure.
And sometimes people self-sabotage, and that's when I get in that mode of like, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Right.
Now it's not the dog, it's you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know this seems forward that I'm telling you, but you have to understand this part or we can't move forward from this step.
Right.
because you're saying it's this dog. But he's not a problem because I just took him away from you and put him by the dogs, and he wanted to go away.
True.
Yeah.
He's not
I
attacking your dog.
love seeing that.
I do too.
I love
That's
seeing
Isn't it
always the
fascinating?
best.
So
Yes.
good when you see the relationship
Yes.
between the dog and the owner. When you pull the dog away, the dog is right in the middle of dogs, and he's
Uh-huh.
like, I don't give a fuck about these dogs. I
Yeah.
want my owner.
Yeah.
Because when I'm with them, I'm powerful.
Yes.
And,
So
then, and then
fascinating.
they're by the dog, and I'm like holding them from running away from
Yes.
the pack here, and then I give it back to the owner, and like turns around,
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe
becomes
not right
reactive.
away because sometimes what happens is they're processing like shit. I was just away from you, like
Yes,
man,
which is a
And
great
then-
moment.
and then it shifts back
Yes.
to like a little bit
For sure.
stalking or whatever.
Yeah, there's a we should talk more about that. Like the confusion in dog when
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dog gets confused, it's actually a beautiful moment to
love those
like do something with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that you'll notice it sometimes. Like I'll say it something. I'll be like, right now, go right away, go to it right now. You know, because they just
Yes.
got like something where they're like, wait, what? I've never like this is something that's throwing my pattern off. Great, let's replace it with something right away.
Yes.
That's where the swiftness comes in, Dana. Like you
Yes.
come in quicker than you normally would, but not with speed of
Yeah,
anxiety.
so
or
not
fast
like oh my god, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like all right, let me go handle this quickly.
right.
With
Right.
the speed is a little bit faster, but the calmness is still present.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love geeking out about the dog thing.
Oh, I could do it for hours.
Yeah.
I think today we're gonna work with Dana. Maybe Steve, if you're down, if you have a
Yeah.
little bit of time, maybe we can
Yeah,
go
we
work
can dog
work
park
with
for
some
sure.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We got a
really
full
fun.
house today with
Yeah.
the dogs, so we're
It's
gonna do that.
about 12:40, so we're gonna do the dog park pretty
Good.
soon here.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Thank you guys so much for joining the session.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Fine.
Dana, thank you for having us.
packleaderdogs.com/contact. I'm not trying to like be salesy because we're pretty booked, but
No, but you want your people to know.
I want you guys to know where if you want to work with us. We
For
do
sure.
video. They're going to be doing video calls as well. And side note for you guys, I just thought of this actually. I'm going to be traveling in Europe for like 18 days in the second half of June, so
Yeah.
in a few weeks. Or 2 weeks or a week, whatever the fuck it is. And I'm going to I have to do a quarantine while I'm there and all this shit. So I'm going to be doing video calls. So if you guys want to find me where I'm not distracted by this place and I'm by myself at a resort, just sitting in a room and talk to me, like the 1 hour session may go a little bit longer.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not guaranteeing it, but yeah, they usually do. But I think that's what I'm going to be doing out there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a bunch of lives and we're going to come up with some
And-
strategies.
A traveling podcast. We're gonna do a podcast while he's out there.
Yep.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
That'd be cool.
No, we're going to. Yeah, we're gonna do a Zoom call with you and have you on the screen here
Nice.
and probably
I like
have
that.
maybe two of the trainers on. We'll have Dana
That'd be
and
fun.
Christian
Yeah.
here in the studio, and then
fun.
you'll be
You're
traveling.
gonna be
Yep.
in the bathtub with suds up to here. in
Yeah.
the
Hell
hotel
yeah.
room?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Rose petals.
Yay.
There's a glass
Heck
of
yeah.
champagne right here. There's like fucking.
Just quarantining in the hotel room.
I know
Yeah.
he's gonna do some
Lionel
stuff like that,
Richie
like
songs on in the background and
self-love
shit.
stuff. He's talking shit, but he's probably gonna do some of
No,
that
I
stuff.
am.
You should.
Definitely.
See, look.
Bubble baths, all that.
Yeah.
This is the thing: is like how many people would say like, wait, so what? You got to go by yourself for like that long and just be in a
Sounds
hotel for
boring.
10 days?
Sounds
Yeah.
actually
What do
sounds
you-
amazing.
Yeah, no.
By the way,
That's what I'm saying. Like for me, I'm like, it's nothing against anybody. It's just that the alone time for me to just think and
Yes.
reflect and get into my habits again and like the
Yes.
things that I really want to be doing.
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
That's at times. That's what you know. What's funny is that not that it's funny, but the thing that sucks is that from the coronavirus thing, I was missing that time of TCW, which for me was the getting to the airport
disconnect.
to getting to LA, because there's no one asking me
Yes.
questions.
Yes,
I'm
the
just there by
disconnect.
myself and I can just think. And sometimes I would just sit back and think, and then like these ideas would pop in and I'd write them down.
Yeah.
This would be a good post or this.
Now he's getting his own room out there. He used to share rooms, but now he's getting his own room, so you
Yeah.
like that part too.
That's
yeah,
good.
I used to. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the other part of it. Is like I was doing it back in the day, the very budget way, because I had to. I had
Yeah,
no money to
yeah.
fucking get there.
Yeah.
So I'm
then
like,
you
"Can I
don't
sleep
get
on the floor?"
1 minute alone.
Yeah, I know.
That's hard. Yeah.
And then we got Yola in the fucking room snoring his face off.
knew he
the
was
whole
gonna say
time.
that.
Yeah. Loud and on the phone all day with the Puerto Rican thing and just scream. I told Yola, I said, wow. When I went to Puerto Rico, I said, I thought New Yorkers were loud. And I was like, you Puerto Ricans are loud people. And I was like,
Fast talking
he goes,
too.
that's why we picked New York.
Yeah.
Or New Yorkers up there and everything. Yeah. It's so funny. But I really liked it there. The people are great.
Oh yeah, Puerto
I
Rico was
love
amazing.
Puerto
Super
Rico.
cool. I want to go there
Love.
soon again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
I always
too.
keep saying that we got to go down there. It'd
We
be
should
cool
go,
to do something
We should
there.
go see his new place.
Yoa's got a new place. It's Paul Mully PR if
I
you guys
wanna
are interested.
come.
Yeah.
I love
Let's
Puerto
go.
Rico. It's
Yeah,
one of
it's
my
really
favorite
cool.
places.
But I want to do something there. I want to like we were talking about potentially a workshop or something
Yeah.
we could do like in different areas and stuff.
And I don't know if I should say this now, but we're supposed to be doing something down south at some point this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Well, maybe not this year, maybe next year.
Next year rather. It's
Yeah.
in February. You said.
Yeah. We're thinking about some Florida stuff for next year.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of talks out
A
there,
lot of stuff.
which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
that's how it starts.
Moving energy around.
That's how it starts.
Okay, so if you guys want to come to the ranch, work with Dana, hit us
Yeah.
up. You can still work with me.
Slide in her
if you really want
DMs.
to.
Slide into Dana's
Yeah, slide into
DMs
her.
over
No,
here.
slide into her IMs.
Her
Yeah,
IMs. Hit her up on AIM
yeah.
to try to do some training over here.
Yep. And we also have Dave and Christian available too. They're going to come at a little better price point than me just because my time is so fucking limited to do this stuff. But the value is without a doubt there.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't put these guys out there if I didn't believe in them. So,
And I'll be backing them up on those sessions too.
Hell yeah.
Assisting. So.
yep. And by the way, I'll be reviewing those sessions.
Yep.
And we're going to do surveys and all that shit. So
Oh,
it's going to
yeah.
be really good. And make
Really
sure
good.
everybody's up to par. Have an awesome day, everybody. Love you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you, Dana. Thank you,
Yeah,
Adam, as
it's
usual.
fun.
Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy
Happy birthday, Pops.
Yep.
Let's
Stay
eat
calm
that
and
cake.
confident. And we'll see you guys soon. Love you guys. Have a
Later.
great day.